All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Andromeda Adventures for Endara, the Second Age. We are once again joined by our entire wonderful cast of players for tonight's episode, where our party will be attending the Masquerade. So we hope everyone is as excited for this as we are. We've been laughing our asses off here behind the scenes getting ready. Uh, but I don't think we have any announcements tonight, so I'm gonna make things hard for James and just be like, "Hey, James, cue that intro."
What? What?
All right, Anais, will you please catch the audience up on what happened last week on Endara?
I will try. Y'all made me laugh way too hard before the stream started, so now I need to pull myself back into serious Inquisitor mind space and all that. But last time on Andromeda, last time on Endara, the Second Age, we started out with Anna doing a little bit of investigation into the child that the party ended up taking to an orphanage some time ago, Elsbeth, and she tracked down the boarding school that Elsbeth had been taken to and found out that the party's fears was true about what had happened to the poor thing, and that this boarding school is a horrible institution that raises kids with magical potential for nobles. And after meeting the horrific headmistress there, Anna set out on a plan to rescue the child. And through a series of very lucky moments that she still doesn't believe, and kind of melting half her own face off, and using feign death on the kid, she got the kid out of there and burst it back into the chateau with a what looked like a dead drunk halfling woman in her arms as Garth and Magnar and Kadoris got back from their amazing camping trip. And everybody got caught up a little bit with each other in the backyard under Liamon's tiny hut spell. And then we had an amazing visitor swing by the chateau, a very famous local author that we are all secretly fans of, and Sir Macy. I'm the biggest fan, apparently. Um, Sir Macy Blush came by to follow up on some crazy ramblings from a fan of theirs that used to stay at the chateau. And Elsbeth recovered from the spells just fine and fell asleep playing with Barry upstairs. All of us talked with Sir Macy Blush and ended up sending some erotica to Jill DeRay's house. And then we all retired for the evening to get ready for the masquerade the following day. So
Yes.
that's what happened last time.
As you guys have all spent the day preparing for the Masquerade and made your way to the Winter Palace, crossed the noble district of the town, past the large sculptures and enormous manor houses, towards the very, very large palace. There is a large fence, sort of iron gated marble stonework around. You can see fountains and gardens and hedge mazes all out front. And the whole palace rises up several stories. There is a massive crowd outside. And as you approach, you show the guards your invitations and make your way through, are allowed in, and you can hear the gossip and conversations and chit chat of all of the rich and noble elite from all across the world and Amaris who have gathered here for this wonderful celebration. There are streamers hung up. You see little fireworks starting to shoot off into the sky as the early evening sets in and the starlit sky looms above. The windows glow, and there is a cacophony and chorus of chatter all around. You have brief bits of moments to eavesdrop and hear bits of conversation, but nothing really stands out. As you kind of make your way through, following the crowd to where everyone's kind of arriving and guests are entering and being presented, and you can see some of the staff are moving through and kind of help guiding everyone into the large palace. You're eventually led in through a long hall, which you can see leads off to several other sections of the palace on this lower level. But as you enter, there's a grand staircase covered in a beautiful, ornate red and gold inlaid, uh, very ornate rug covering the entire stairway. As you are led up and amongst each other and kind of right this way to the party, have a chance. You can see everyone is in fine costume and attire. As you are walking up the stairs with each other, will each of you please describe your masquerade costume and what you look like? Your mask and dress. We will start with Garth.
All right. Garth is wearing his clothes he had picked up for him, a very colonial era kind of like frills everywhere unnecessarily. It's very he looks almost uncomfortable to be wearing it. It's very foreign to him to be wearing clothing. And his mask is it looks like a wolf's head sort of kind of half mask that just covers his top of his face, made of like intricate metals and engraved throughout.
All right. Is Barry wearing a costume?
He's got his bow tie on. That's enough.
Is he wearing the fez that Hadrian
No,
got him?
he's not wearing the fez.
Okay. Magnar.
So Magnar's been getting some looks because he's still in his sort of scruffy clerical garb, and Westora elbows him, and he sort of rummages around inside, and pulls out the magical mask which had been acquired earlier, and pops it on. And then, as he does so, this kind of the shabby clerical robes gradually sort of morph into these fabulous red velvet robes with these golden trims, and then the golden trims start to thicken a little, and you get these kind of thick sort of metal loops and sort of extensions coming off of the arms, and then this large cowl starts to grow up out the back into this almost sort of red golden peacock display that's behind his head, and he looks extremely sheepish in it.
All right. Hadrian.
So, Hadrian, for the first time, seems to have actually cleaned himself up a bit. His hair has been cut. He still has his 5 o'clock shadow. He's wearing, rather than his usual sort of black leather 3/4 coat, it's a cloth affair with small decorations of silverish purple on it, sort of a mix of metallic and indigo color. Beneath that, there's a cloth shirt of. It looks silver at first glance, but again, in keeping the sort of general theme, there are underlying tones of violet and dark purple to it. It seems to shimmer in the light slightly. His mask just covers his eyes, made of the same material, and there's a slight, very slight feather decoration on the sides, as there is also on one of his lapels. 7 black feathers sweep up. He is unnervingly so for those who know him, seemingly mostly unarmed, but he does have his blade on his back. The sheath, however, has been altered to look more like a part of a costume than a true weapon of war. And he strides confidently in, sort of, for one of the first times taking advantage of that. You can see sort of that the imposingness, the off-puttingness to him has been as much about his mannerism and his general darkness as it has his appearance. Because as he strides into the masquerade, putting on a good face, or half a face, he cuts a striking figure.
All right. Anais.
Anna is uncomfortably wearing a rather impressive ball gown that the distinctive feature of it is it seems to be made up of a lot of different layers of fabric that kind of tuck and weave in and out of each other, and the fabric is a very dark midnight blue with a lot of fiery reddish orange layers in it, and it looks like it's supposed to evoke something like a sunset or a sunrise, which goes with her mask, which is just a small half face white mask that looks like it has a hand painted starfield on it with a bit of a sun in one corner. Looks very uncomfortable. The dress is a very covering dress, and she has knee-high boots on underneath that are somewhat similar to her normal ones, but these are obviously dress boots. You all would notice too that even though it's harder to see it in the dress, her harness is still being worn underneath parts of the dress. There's like a brown leather strap here and there, but it doesn't distract from the dress, or it doesn't seem like it stands out too much. And she has her rapier on her right hip, hanging from a very decorative silver belt that it's on, and she's carrying an decently sized clutch in one hand that matches the dress's color scheme.
All right. And Westora. I know we've got some art for yours as well that got previewed last week. But if you want to share with us your description.
Sure. Actually, her description started much earlier in the day when everybody first saw her. She appeared differently from her normal blue skin and blue hair and sort of icy appearance, but rather her skin took on the sort of the look of like a newly cut pine, sort of a white with all like sort of the rings of a tree that's been cut. And you kind of see the rings at an angle sort of across her skin, like a freshly cut wood. Her hair is green, like spring, and sort of goes down and curls around her shoulder. Normally, she wears her hair up in like a ponytail. Now she just wears it out and about. She is wearing a dress that seems to literally be made of spring. It's made up of leaves and vines, and is covered in bright flowers that speak of spring. In fact, it might even blow a bit like when there's a soft breeze, like grass in a field being sort of blown by wind. She's got flowers tucked about in her hair, and her mask is a green mask that covers most of her face, with flowers itself sort of as accent pieces. And she herself is wearing very flowery perfume that she bought many sessions ago in Amaris. So she smells very much like flowers as she sort of walks into the ballroom. You know, her straight backed, head held high. Her dress is strapless and has like a firm kind of corset portion to it. So yes, that is her description, and I did
Wonderful.
do the artwork
If you'll give me one moment, my headset's yelling at me that the battery's dying.
Technical issues.
In case
Which doesn't make any sense because I charged it all day. So, but
in case anybody's wondering where she got the dress, I did many sessions ago buy a dress of many fashions. It was called. So
yeah,
I have the same thing. I have the armor of shifting.
You have armor, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I've got my fancy trench coat of protection that I've molded into the armor, but it's just looking like my suit now. You know.
Nice.
And I still
I
have
do like the accent colors you described in yours.
Thank you. I think they're very pretty. And also, I will say the other thing Hadrian has for those of you watching at home, there is a small, what looks like a quiver next to the sword, which the rest of you would know would be the quiver of Elohana we found in the, and it has all his other weapons in it, but he's not taking them out yet.
All right. So as you guys are walking up the large stairway, up at the top, you are bombarded over the sound of the cacophony as music begins to waft through the palace. A sort of glorious, calm, sort of celebratory waltz playing from all kinds of instruments, a whole orchestra seemingly somewhere within the palace. As you step up, you see a black robed figure, large cloak, heavy, completely covering the individual, with a white porcelain full face mask that seems to have just almost no features depicted on it, blanked face, giving kind of a disturbing countenance. Welcome, my friends. Glad that you were able to make it.
Inquisitor,
I give the barest incline of my head and just say, Honored Inquisitor Gilderay, how lovely it is to make your acquaintance at this masquerade.
I see you got my invitations, and you all arrived together. How splendid! Right this way, and introductions will be made properly.
Oh shit, that's Jill.
Yeah.
Or someone who does a good
yes.
impression of him. I could be Jill at this point in time. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry, my respect lasted about 5 seconds, and then I'm sorry. You have a great voice. I love it. It's fantastic.
How are we supposed to tell who we're talking to when we're all wearing these masks?
Well, I mean, most of us aren't doing the full face. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all pretty obvious.
I mean, us, yeah, of course, us, but like people we meet.
Well, you have to ask them their name, or
Mm-hmm. You've got to
if you-
socialize
or
that.
hopefully you recognize their voice if it's somebody you already know.
Goth, you will find Kadoris, or he will find you. Do not worry.
Oh, that's a very useful.
That's also why they're going to announce all of us too, so you have an idea of who's who.
Oh yeah, right.
That is true.
What? Oh, okay. Who wants to go first?
I don't know if we
Gather
get to
right
choose.
this way. Might as well make your way into the grand ballroom before it gets too late, and keep in mind that we have a task here. We're not going to let that fiend get away. So keep your eyes open for anything suspicious and let me know. I've managed to...
Can I report a suspicious individual in the entryway wearing
I
a
wasn't
really,
speaking
really
of
sus
yourself.
face mask?
Not the time. Let's go.
Sorry, I'm just like, I walk off like mumbling. Sorry, I'm just right. Yeah, you're right.
As he kind
Apologies,
of walks
Grand
and
Inquisitor.
leads you guys forward through several large doors. You can see the ornate tiles of the palace, the large marble walls, intricate inlays, carved in sort of crown molding and scaffolding all up along the brim. These huge carved wooden doors covering the mid hall between this sort of foyer where you're landing. Behind you, behind the stairs, the actual whole area is open in a large balcony that overlooks the garden entrance to the palace, and you can see the lights and fireworks and glow of the city out beyond. As you're led through into the large hall, you can see a long, very long hall. There's several chandeliers up top, intricately made of golds with large diamond and crystal fixtures glowing with enchanted light. The music that you hear seems to be echoing around the room, but you don't see any musicians or instruments being played. Seems to just be magically. There's a crowd filling the place. There's food and drinks laid out. There's staff walking around carrying trays and these or very intricate sort of suits with a black and white mask that accentuates one side over the other, kind of drifting down one side of the cheek. On the far end of the hall, you can see Queen Avril Valmont Prismari in her glorious blue gown with a ornate mask that comes up above her cheeks and then comes and wraps around, and it's made of gold and bronze and rises out like a huge sun. You can't imagine the weight that that mask carries. On the far distance, you see a long-haired individual with a dark black hair, pale skin, this long sort of flowing trench coat, a ruffled sort of piratey white blouse, shirt, and tight leather pants. Is one of the few guests not wearing a mask. And there's just a constant billow to his jacket as he stands and observes. He seems to be talking to a well-dressed Ameresian that has a sort of gold ornate helmet on for a mask. Looking around, you do spot the unmistakable Leon and his enormous, large size standing there in bits and pieces of armor, and it looks like he took a helmet and ripped off the eye plate and is just wearing that as kind of sunglasses as his mask. He is talking to a decently built Leonin in gladiatorial clothing with a bit of fabric tied around his face like a bandana almost to cover his eyes. There are various other nobles and people all around. Just the crowd is everywhere. You can see halls spreading off to the east and west, balconies. There's large windows showing these sort of atrium garden areas just outside. On the far, far end, complete opposite of you, you see a large balcony right behind the queen. And to the right of her, on the far end, there's another balcony, and through the windows, you just catch a faint glimpse of who is obviously Grigori. You see him wearing the same clothes, and he has his necklace. But he is wearing a bit of a wolf mask, very reminiscent of what Garth is wearing. There's an owlin running around that kind of passes quickly in ornate dress with flowers and a whole bunch of gold and intricate things and little coins dangling off. And the entire party is alive, and it is hard to hear anything. You do spot several people that look familiar that you may have encountered, but it's hard to place exactly with their masks. And as you walk in, Gilles kind of waves his hand to one of the staff and gestures them over. Yes, my guests have arrived. Please prepare to announce their entrance. Right away, sir. And there's a bit of a din as the gentleman steps forward and kind of gestures for all of you to line up around. The dance floor at the center of the hall currently is mostly empty. There's a few people moving and dancing around. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the guests of Her Majesty Avril Vermont Prismari on her birthday that have just arrived, I would like to introduce the host that has brought these wonderful foreigners to our lands, Madam Inquisitor Anais Belai Clementine. Thank you for arriving and bringing these wonderful guests to our abode. The Queen is most interested in meeting them and hearing of your most recent travels and projects. Next, may we introduce Garth Stonefist of the Rock Jumper clan. Please step forward and give us a bow.
I will attempt to give my best bow.
You kind of honestly bow. Next, of course, we have Lady Westora Freshnell, Dame of the Winter Court, and Madame of Jarou.
I will step forward and I'll give a deep curtsy.
People kind of clap, and you can see people kind of talking and pointing at the dress. Next, we have
Mission accomplished.
Hadriel Izuna, fallen champion of Ishgard and servant of Aldwin. And everyone in the crowd kind of, it's serious. Kind of whispering and mumbling to themselves and kind of pointing, and a couple people looking nervous, and Shane, a couple people pointing, a couple people kind of blowing it off as like,
I walk in, and Anais and Goth and Westora would all see Hadrian. Like, the blood has completely drained from his face, but I will just sort of give a nod and an expression that, with all the charisma in my body, says, "What? What?" Like, he's not yelling it, but he's very much just projecting, like, do you have a problem?
And lastly, all the way from Cormund, Magnar Smeltbrow, Master Reader of the Cormund Mines, Worshipful Company of Blacksmith, Low Cleric of the Order of True Strikers, son of Kirgum Smeltbrow, Master Swordsmith, son of Akud Smeltbrow, Master Jeweler, son of Thagrit Smeltbrow, Master Armorer.
Wow.
Best introduction. Best introduction.
Slightly
Are you
spoiled,
also the Emperor of the
unfortunately, by
Persian Empire?
Magnar shuffling forwards and trying to bow and getting caught up in some of the sort of rigid metal pieces of his garb, and so the bow gets kind of a little bit stuck halfway, and he sort of tips it to one side and then kind of stands up and then shuffles on in.
Oh.
Here, you could see a couple people like clapping, a couple people kind of snickering and laughing. Jill says, "Well met and welcome to the ball, everyone. Please make yourselves at home now that you've been introduced." And everyone's kind of clapping, welcoming you in. As Jill says, "We all have various things to attend to, but I will certainly meet up with you later. I have to check on a few things, and then I will introduce you to the Queen. Don't rush ahead. Good luck, and I believe your friends you'll find are all here. Have a pleasant time."
You too, Jill.
I give him a polite curtsy as he leaves.
And he gives you guys a deep bow.
Does he turn away?
Mm-hmm. He slowly
Okay,
step and walk away.
I do this to him as he walks away, and then I go back in. But I had to get that out.
You, as you do that, you see a couple people kind of like look over at you and kind of point and like shake their heads, talking something.
I look at them and give them the same expression of the what?
Make a perception check.
Westora looks really embarrassed right now.
I'm sorry. They kind of called me out on a thing that I barely remember, and I'm not feeling very comfortable here right now. So, 21.
21. So you definitely catch several people kind of move to their hand to the rapiers that they're carrying and turn their mask to look at you and kind of move through the crowd, getting closer to you, but still keeping their distance.
And Anna's gonna bring her clutch up a bit to her chest and turn around to face the party and make sure her rapier is pointed towards these individuals as she sees them shifting around. Let's not draw more attention to ourselves, please.
I'm sorry. It already sort of.
We already stand out pretty well.
I wish you had said that before I picked this dress.
I was going to say that, Anais, like
Well, actually, since as things are going the way they seem to be going, quite so quickly and quite so soon, Anais, Adrian, would you mind just stepping this way a sec?
Yeah, I'll follow Magnar.
Of course.
Well, I just wanted to bring down the blessings of Deskar upon us, just in case things go a little bit further south, if that's amenable to you.
Sure.
So Deskar, may Hadrian keep his wrath under control as much as necessary, and may Anais bring her wrath forward as much as necessary, and may I direct some of this bloody anger that's being built up about not being able to hit a damn thing actually fly its way into me hammer and cause something to at least go ow.
As Magna casts the spell,
Sorry,
I will
that's
put a hand.
level. That's a cast aid level 3.
Nice.
So that is 10 additional hit points.
I will give you some of my wrath, Magna. While we're on the subject of blessings, and I assume that clutch can hold these things, and he reach behind his coat and pull out a very small glass vial that's filled with sort of a shifting gold and silver shimmering liquid. This is supposed to protect you from all forms of damage. And if you are any good with that blade, if a fight breaks out, you may be in the thick of it. And well, given what you did recently, I would like you to have this.
Well, thank you for the blessing, Magnar. That's incredibly kind. And thank you, Adrian. This is just a clutch. It's full of makeup, is what's in here, but there's room for the potion, I'm sure. And I do appreciate it, because if things go bad, I could use it. So thank you. And she does.
I will
take
not
it.
make an insight check on that.
She takes the potion and cracks the clutch open, and you see and smell makeup and perfume in it, as if the nervous thing threw everything she owned into one clutch, because this is not a common outing.
There's like he wrinkles his nose slightly. Are you sure all of those are like before their expiration date?
I have no idea. And she clicks it shut.
And it suits you, though. It suits you. There's a je ne sais quoi to it, as I believe they say in Emery's.
They do say that sometimes, yes.
And Macy, as they are talking, you heard their introductions and recognized some of the names. You are standing by one of the tables that has some food laid out on it, currently trying to decide which of the particular sort of hors d'oeuvres catches your fancy. As you're looking around, you know, looking at the stuff, you do see. Let me pull up the list. There seem to be some eel rolls made with some kind of sticky rice and a sort of gelatinous sauce placed on them, and they're wriggling around. There are these little fried little popper looking snacks. What looks like a strange black and red and smells a bit of cinder paste that's a bit fluffy and has a granular texture that is served on toasted crackers and seems to be lit on fire. There's sort of a glowing fire to it. There's these large sort of mushroom head looking treats laid out in circles with blinking phosphorescent glowing spots with a little bit of a white crumble placed on them. There is a large gray root looking substance, almost like noodles, that gives off a very vinegary and sour spiced scent to it. They're soaked and kind of look a bit briny. And then there are these sort of vegetable wraps that actually seem to have a little bit of cool mist radiating off of them and are wrapped in what looks like tree leaves that shimmer like they're liquid. But you're hearing their introductions and seeing Barry kind of walk over undisguised and have a chance. Will you please describe what you are wearing?
Sure. Yeah. So Sir Macy is currently dressed as the main female protagonist of his novel Emery's by Moonlight, in which the main protagonist Isadora is a writer herself. So he's currently wearing sort of a green like hand knit sweater that's sort of fastened at the waist by sort of this like nice belt that then extends into this very long, well, long for a 2.5 foot halfling, skirt that's sort of embroidered with all these different flowers and sort of almost sort of looks a little bit like paper. Currently also like fully wearing like stockings, has these very nice black shoes, and is wearing a full face mask that seems to be made of sort of paper mache with small like paper butterflies and flowers and things coming off of it. But he's also sort of analyzing all the food and sort of looks at all the different hors d'oeuvres and is like, I should go talk to those people, but there's something here. What if chefs, but sexual? Okay, anyway. he'll make his way specifically over to Barry, and bring one of those like eel things with him.
Okay.
Sort of slide up next to Barry and offer.
Barry sniffs it and goes to eat it. Will you have Barry make a charisma check for me?
A charisma check.
Yep.
This is gonna be great.
Barry must
sure-
get
I'm
at
sure-
least +20 to these, right? He's
Oh,
so cute.
no. He's got a -2.
For a bear, I think he's right up there. Yeah.
15.
Damn, Barry.
He scarfs it. You can see little like the little eel thing that he's eating starts to try and wriggle and writhe away, and he's like having fun playing with it, chewing on it, and like kind of looks to you and headbutts you, kind of like looking for more. And the rest of you see Barry kind of having this, and are kind of off in the corner. So what are all of you doing?
So do I see, because I see it on the map, but I just need, like, do I see the clearly hybrid dragonborn lady standing next to a table, who I could only assume would be Leon's sister?
You do see a well-dressed woman in a black sort of military coat with gold trim and brackets. There's pauldrons on it. She does seem to have a bit of dragonborn ancestry, large horns, a tail, bits of scales on her body, and has a sort of red mask on with horns that rise up out of it that looks maybe made of lacquered wood.
Okay.
But you do see her. You're standing next to
Yeah.
them. I would say you don't know if that's Leon's sister. You just see.
Yeah.
someone that
I
has-
recognize the vibe is more the, and I will look to Leon and very under that. Hey, Leon.
Make an insight check.
Okay. I wasn't expecting to be able to do that. 12.
Just fancy dragonborn, could be anybody.
Yeah, I turned to Leon. Hey, Leon, because I'm not that far from him. Is that the sister that makes your head hurt because she's smart? Also, hi.
Oh, you're the guy that I got in the fight with.
Yeah, I beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, that time. I'm gonna kick your ass next time.
Yeah, sure. But seriously, and I had fun, but it was a bit. But is that because I said I wanted to?
He looks around. My sister's here somewhere. She got a mask thing on. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. Even you look different.
All right, fuck it. I'm gonna take a chance and go over to the dragon, the scaly dragonborn with the military uniform and the horns, and I'm gonna. Is she doing anything, or is she just sort of standing there?
She's sitting there sipping on what looks like a sort of crystal-like glass of some kind of wine.
I will grab on my way there a glass of something similar from one of the servants who I assume is
Wine has take it off of the tray.
As I get to her, put it in my left hand and make a warrior salute. Listen, I mean, she heard our introductions, but I assume you are. Well, I don't assume anything. Are you Leon's sister? The one who he says actually has gray matter.
What a wonderful introduction to a woman you've never met.
Yeah. I thought about it long and hard, and then I decided
Oh.
to just be upfront.
I'm sure it seems you've got about as many brain cells as my brother.
Madam, I take grievous insult that I can string together sentences that would make his head spin. Having said that, I'm not here on a flirtation mission.
And why are you here, servant of Aldwin?
I do not serve Aldwin.
I imagine it's not, because how would you have gotten into this party if so? You would be arrested on sight. Someone seems to be playing a prank on you.
It could be, and if so, I'm going to find them, rip out their entrails, tie them around their throat, and hang them from them. That's hyperbole, of course. I might just beat them up.
It's a shame. If it wasn't, I might actually be interested in this conversation. If you'll excuse me.
Wait.
She stops and kind of turns and tilts her head a little bit.
Listen. From what I understand, I did give Aldwin advice on how to empower the blade and conquer the lands. And I was one of his greatest generals.
You see her kind of put her hand up and take a sip of wine. Well, I was more interested in the violent outburst of someone's entrails than a sordid history with violent past.
That I can still absolutely do. Did you see that guy walking around in the porcelain mask? And I mean, do you have any idea how many times I will lean in, whispering, girl to girl, kind of thing, because I'm getting a vibe here. I'm getting that she's he's such a dick. Do you have any idea how many ways I have fantasized about just eviscerating him and making an example of his hoity-toity, noble, authoritarian ass to the entire world?
Basically,
All of these fucking people are terrible. You know what I would really love to do with him? You heard his introduction, right? I would love to just record that voice, hang him by his own entrails, and have his last words play constantly as he swings above the crowds, because he is a person who is just, he has no honor, he has no courage, he hides behind the magic and power of others. He's a small man with a small hand.
And yet, there he stands.
I mean, I did stab him once. He seems to have gotten over it. And I will, again, I lean in again, try to whisper.
Then
really
you need to work on your sword play.
Oh. I don't know if that's a challenge or an invitation or an insult, but I hate it either way, but I also kind of love it, so sure I do. But having said that, as enjoyable as this is, I have a question for you, as apparently the one in your family with brain cells.
She takes a sip of her wine.
I take a sip of mine, and if a fight breaks out here, I've heard the Makusians do not run from fights, they embrace them, they enjoy them. I mean, I've gotten the shit beat out of me by Mogus twice now, so I kind of get it. Would you stay and fight? or would you
Are
leave?
you planning to start a fight? Because I would, as a diplomatic guest, I would be indentured to report such a thing.
Oh, I am not planning to start a fight. Although, if I'm being perfectly honest,
Well, then that's a shame.
I
Excuse
was
me.
gonna say,
And she kind of
sorry,
turns
I
and
was gonna-
walks away.
but my plans are not always good on that, and I may start a fight with that porcelain masked bastard.
Well,
And
at least
I'll-
that would provide some entertainment for the evening.
I agree.
Have a
And if that
pleasant
happens,
party.
I hope you watch it well. And then I walk away.
And she goes over to someone and kind of starts talking, kind of glances back at you and shrugs, kind of going back to her conversation.
I wasn't trying to
Leon walks
flirt. I was
past.
just trying to get her to say she'd kill Godric.
I didn't get the impression necessarily that she thought you were flirting. I just think she didn't
Macy
particularly
has
like you.
So many conflicting feelings, but he's writing them all.
I think she'd be happy to start joining a fight when there actually is one.
Yeah, that's all I really wanted to ask. Okay.
All right. Is anybody else doing anything?
Yeah, I have a whole list of people that you mentioned to me before, and I'm seeing new faces that were not on that list. I am. My goal is to broadly socialize. I think I will begin, however, with Quintilius, our once friend who got upset with us because we didn't like the fact he was hanging out with Godric. So I will approach him. I will give him a deep curtsy. I'll
He
say,
gives a reluctant bow. It is a pleasure to see you again, Madame Maslara.
it is
I-
indeed.
Sorry you are still in the company of those buffoons.
They have far more qualities that are admirable than you give them credit for. But buffoons is still an apt description.
Might I offer you to eat or a drink? As he kind of grabs lots of one.
I would love to have a glass, yes. Although when Mistora gets a glass, she doesn't drink it. I was wondering if your friend was here already, or if he is going to come later for his to watch your show.
Well, he was not going to attend. He was simply helping me study.
I think you'd be surprised. I am quite positive he will make an appearance.
That would be rather upsetting of us. He was not invited.
I know, but he has expressed to myself and my associates that he planned on attending. And I certainly know the Inquisitor over there, and I make a motion over to Jill, expects his appearance as well.
My uncle is. How does my uncle know Godot?
Oh, well, I mean, we tried to tell you a bit about your associate and the dangers he represented, but you seemed to be quite upset with us because we didn't want him in our house.
You insulted my friend. You manhandled me.
Well, to be perfectly fair,
It's hardly a
you-
persuasive position to
we did
start
not
from.
manhandle you. You chose to leave after we refused your friend entry into our home.
Your friend grabbed me by the arm and attempted to drag me into your kitchen. If that is not manhandling, I don't know what is.
Well,
I hardly think it's the actions of a gentleman, no? How would you feel being
perhaps.
grappled and dragged off into someone's home?
Well, I think before this night is through, you will see why we were concerned for your safety that day.
Well, whatever it is care is appreciated. I just wish you kept better company. But speaking of which, I know that you had desired to meet the queen. Perhaps I could introduce you to my mother, and later
If-
tonight, perhaps a dance.
Oh, of course. Obviously, I would be pleased to meet your mother, and a dance with such a fine gentleman is always a pleasure.
It would be my honor.
And she gives a deep curtsy.
Was there anything else I could help you with?
I do not wish to keep you. I am quite certain you have much to prepare for your show this evening. Your performance.
Oh, it is already going on. Can't you hear the music?
Oh, is that indeed the piece itself being played?
It is. Does know what I prepared? We recorded it, and it is magically being broadcast through the entire palace.
Remarkable.
Might I recommend that while you're here, you try the exploding cheese puffs? They are quite delightful.
With such an elegant name, I can expect nothing less than enjoyment from them. Your exploding cheese puffs, very appropriate for a queen's birthday.
He kind of looks over and, excuse me, I have to stop my cousin, the Marquis Satine, and he kind of gestures, and you see a woman in a very elegant green silk dress. You saw her kind of moving around, setting stuff up at the party, but never got a chance to talk to her. She seems to be placing these painted jars underneath the tables, and make a perception check.
All right. Not my best skill, but not my worst either. 16. About as good as I
That's
can.
fair. She seems to be doing something to the food, some of the food, and drinks. Like kind of looking around, and she'll seemingly move something around a little bit.
I will approach her, if that's okay. I'll excuse myself from Quintilius and approach her.
Who are you? She kind of, as you walk across with her, and she kind of quickly puts a couple of jars back.
I
And
am.
with your perception check, there's a faint buzzing sound around her.
My name is Wistora. How do you do? May I ask who you might be?
I do it however the hell I want. I'm stuck at this mess.
I did not.
What do you do?
Accuse you or suggest you weren't doing what the hell you want, or saying you couldn't.
You're just another one of the boring rich people, aren't you?
I wish I was rich. Currently, I am rather penniless. Well, I'm doing okay, as well as I can, but I'm more of an exile.
Well, at least that's something interesting. Madame Marquise Satine, it's a pleasure.
Wistora Freshna, it is indeed a pleasure.
So want to have some real fun?
I think I might. I've noticed perhaps bees, something buzzing.
She kind of opens up her pouch and pulls out a small jars of bees for later. They're a bit of a surprise.
I'm sure the queen will be quite surprised. You seem to be quite the troublemaker, I dare say.
Oh, you know, anything for a little bit of entertainment to wash away all the bore of these kind of events. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of asshole guys hitting on you, trying to get just women trying to show off their most recent acquisitions and money. Everyone just kissing each other's asses.
I have been to many a court function. I know what that feels like.
Well, if you're looking for some real fun, we're having a bit of drinks back in one of the hidden passages.
I might be able to join you, although I don't drink much these days. Part of the reason why I'm exiled.
Well, you might as well live it up if you're here. Nothing a bit like this fancy. I mean, we've got some real alcohol. Asmodan's Reserve. We've got Jarun Absinthe.
I might be interested in some
Abyssal Mead.
Absinthe. Yes, I expect you'll find this evening will end up being quite entertaining by the end of the night.
Oh,
be interested
I hope
to see
so.
the role your bees might play in all of that.
She kind of gives you a playful smirk, hoping it really entertains. See, if anyone knocks over the tables or stumbles into them once they get too drunk, the bees will fall out.
You know what I think?
Chaos.
You know what I think might be a good start to that.
Huh?
I'll lean over and I'll say, you know the music that's playing.
Hopefully, it becomes more lively. I mean, this is all fancy and orchestral. What I'm really in is to Makusian alternative bardic.
Well, I think if you know how, perhaps you seem to be connected. What if we work together to swap out the music with your choice?
It's all enchanted up in the chandeliers. We'd have to sneak up there. It'd be too much of a pain. But I like where you're going. Perhaps. We can certainly try. Have to find a way to get up. Do you have a way to become invisible?
My lady, such things would be horribly, horribly, horribly illegal. But
I know, isn't it fun?
I might have some abilities, but I'm afraid invisibility is not one of them. Although I can, as you know, I am of Jeru, and those of my type are able to sort of go from one locale to another in a split moment. Teleportation, one might say. If that helps.
Fascinating. Well, sadly, it does not. There would be no way to get to them from here. But I'm sure we'll find a way to entertain ourselves.
I think so. But I would really love to see this music be undone. How would you, if you did have invisibility, what would you do with it?
Find a way to sneak up to the emitters and sonophones that are rigged up among the ceiling. Probably spider climb my way up while invisible, though it would be difficult. I'd have to be really tricky because I'm sure there are plenty of law mages here. And they would just, but if anyone had a dispel magic or disenchantment, we could just shut down the whole music. Oh, then everyone would have to hear the silly little voices clamoring around with each other.
Have you become acquainted with Inquisitor Anais?
I have heard her name.
Now, she might have a reputation for being a bit of a stick in the mud, but
I hear that stick is far enough up her ass that she is tasting pine.
But I think if you approach her with this, she might be willing to help. I don't think she's a fan of this music either.
I shall consider it.
She might have some other abilities which may help.
You'll have to introduce me then.
Are you free now?
I have a little bit of preparations left to do.
Okay.
But I could meet up with you later?
Please do. I'll be around. Again, it's been a pleasure.
She bows. So you guys are...
Yeah, I would.
Garth,
I would. Oh, yeah. Hello.
you might not recognize me. It's Macy from yesterday.
Oh, Sir Macy. Yes.
Yes. Oh, you remembered. How amazing. Do you mind? Apologies. Can I steal your bear for a moment? You see, I've done much writing on bears, but not of this variety. So, just gotta expand my horizons.
If I could have him for a little bit,
Oh,
come
sure.
with us. Barry, could you try to find Kadosh for me? You know what he smells like, right? Give it a shot.
Who's this Godoris you're trying to find?
Kadoris, yes.
I'll lean to Mason. Says lover.
Oh.
But Garth wouldn't hear that. And Hadrian will then get back up and just stare at Anais, but yeah.
Barry kind of wanders off past Leon and seemingly heading out to the right and kind of grumpily looking around as he kind of looks over and sees like someone carrying around some wine kind of
No, hey, on task. We'll drink after.
tragically like swag his head.
Oh, follow, Macy, follow.
If this is in the pursuit of love, perhaps I can help.
Yeah, you should be good at that.
Pursuit of love.
Oh, Sorry, in the pursuit of Godorus.
Yes.
Yes. In the pursuit of Godorus, which is a great name for a novel, by the way. Sir Bearfriend, Barry. May your nose ring true? Once again, I really haven't written much for
May your nose smell true?
smell true. May the lovely perfumes
Wait.
of the Godorus.
Wait. I'm
Who
getting
is
an
Godor? I
inspiration.
need more
I'm getting an inspiration from him, Barry. May your olfactory senses.
Adrian, you're off talking to Spike.
I walked over to Macy at this point in time. But
This is all going on like we're
happening at the same time.
Yeah.
okay.
Because nobody
been-
else. Yeah, because you went and then I went describing what I was doing,
All right.
Yeah.
and now it's Garth and Macy describing what they're doing while you and I were off talking to people.
So as the two of you follow Barry.
I will cast guidance on Barry to try and
Shit.
help him track.
All right. Have Barry make an wisdom.
Would that be perception?
Uh,
To try to catch his
finding-
scent?
It'd be investigation. So it'd be an
Damn it,
intelligence.
he has advantage on perceptions that rely on smell.
I'll give him a perception. I'll give it.
Sick. Plus a D4 as well.
Also D4, yeah.
Plus advantage. 22.
He easily leads you sort of through this side hall with a couple of books and tables on it, and then out into a larger open ground, sort of almost chapel-like room with several statues. It overlooks. There's a large plinth in the center of the room, and there's 4 huge stained glass windows on the far end. And he seems to be talking to a familiar gentleman, Antoine Rigide.
Oh
As
no.
the two of them are talking to each other and about how the days were going and shipments and sort of business practices and Monsieur Rigide, let me introduce you to my friend Garth. I see I'm familiar with the gentleman. We've met.
I do believe we have.
Ex-lovers, perhaps. Sorry, I'm
Make an insight check.
I'm monologuing to myself. I will insight. That is a 29.
Holy shit.
Both Cadorus and Antoine blush.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
This is getting saucier and saucier.
Antoine, yeah? Is your name correct?
It is, and you, Garth.
Yes.
It's been a while since the incident on the road. I hope you are finding yourself well.
Not bad. I mean, as well as one can be in Amaris, I suppose.
Still traveling with the donkey's ass.
No, with a bear.
Well, you always had the bear. Well, I'm glad that you ditched that gentleman.
Which one?
Yeah. Really? Pardon me, I forgot your particular skill set. But the annoying asshole that seems to think himself above the law.
Oh, right, yeah. I know who that one is. No, he's still with me.
Is that the short one?
No, it's the one with like, the Adrian.
Oh, yeah.
That one. Yeah.
Mm.
Sir Macy, I hope you never had the displeasure of meeting the individual. He's a rather crude and crass brute of a man.
Oh,
No
I mean,
class and no talent.
some readers enjoy that sort of thing, so of course I'll have to meet him at some point. I feel like we've exchanged words, but hopefully more over the course of
He knows little more than insults. I doubt you could even understand your writing.
To be fair, I heard sort of general gossip that quite a bit in my friend Gorf, their group, um, are actually major readers of mine. So
Fascinating. I
I don't
how.
read.
Oh well, perhaps we could correct that. Reading is such an excellent way to express one's mind and imagination. There are so many. And he kind of moves in and gets close to you, Garth. And he's like, "There is so much splendor to be seen in this world and learned. Have you ever had an interest in learning to read?" And Kadoris is kind of like, "I think he's more of an adventurer type," and kind of steps in a little bit and is like, "Perhaps, Garth, we could get the drink. I brought the bow." I set it to the side a little bit, but
Where is it?
would you excuse us, Monsieur Rajid?
Oh, yeah,
oh.
good to see you again, Antoine. Where did you put the bow?
I left it over in the servants' area.
You should keep it on you.
I should.
You should. Remember Quintilius' friend Godot?
Yes, the strange man.
Yes, he's gonna be here. He's not invited.
Oh, that's rather rude of him.
Yeah. He's planning on doing a bunch of stuff here. We're probably going to end up fighting him. Just a fair warning. You might want your bow on you.
But surely the law mages could handle some old scholar.
Like I said, that man walked up and killed a law mage without even trying last time we saw him.
It's very hard to believe, but I trust you.
It was some sort of magic. I don't understand it.
Would you care to get the drink?
Yeah, I love drinks.
I feel like I'm no longer needed here.
Oh, Mace, if you want to talk to Barry, now's your time. You can.
Oh, okay. Macy will turn and sort of steer Barry towards Antoine, and sort of as passing Antoine to sort of head back towards the remaining members of the group who haven't left yet. He will sort of pass Antoine and go, "You shouldn't let them slip by. You have to fight for your love. You can do it." And I'm going to give him guidance as I pass. And then head towards, like I said, I'll head towards Anais, since she seems to be.
Well, so Anais and Magnar, what are the two of you doing? As everyone has broken off and going their separate, breaking off and going their separate ways.
Well, I'm walking up on whatever Magnar's doing. So
See, you find Magnar walking his way down the intricate displays of food. He actually has a small notebook out, and he's sort of sketching some of the dishes, and you see that he has like some lists of ingredients written out and then sort of crossed out, and some question marks next to things. And he's also looking at the mist that was emanating off one of them. He's wondering how that's still going, quite as long as it is. And yeah, he's not eating very much of the food, but he's he's admiring it and making notes. And just as he gets to the end of the table, his eyes are going up to the ceiling and looking again to where the music's coming from.
okay, then yeah, she'll just kind of float up behind him and watch curiously for a few moments, and then kind of lean down somewhat like closer to his height, looking at the food that he's currently looking at, and then like looking up at the ceiling. What are you doing?
Oh, I was just taking notes. This is some of the finest sort of artistry and craftsmanship that I've seen in quite some time. The time that must have gone into each and every one of these dishes is staggering. And then people are just sort of tossing them sort of idly into the gobs and paying no attention to them whatsoever. It's a crying shame. I'm also quite intrigued as to how that mist is going for quite as long as it is, because it should have dispersed long by now. But that besides the point. Having sort of done that, I'm actually turning my mind more to the matters at hand, which is that this creepy music really needs dealing with. And if I recall from our earlier,
I like that Magnar thinks that a pleasant sort of celebratory waltz is creepy music.
What's its source?
Well, if I remember from our earlier visit, these chandeliers or something above them is somewhat enchanted. So I was just trying to work that out and start thinking about how they work.
One of the
So-
gentlemen standing at the table kind of looks at the two of you and is like, well, Mr. Smeltbow, if you are so interested in the artistry of this food, it hardly pays to just admire it. Shouldn't you try some?
Oh yes, I will. Well, when I'm hungry. I'm not actually hungry right now because I had quite a late lunch. So later in the evening, when I'm actually feeling hungry, then I'll come and consume some. Just because sort of consuming it when you're not hungry doesn't feel right. But I was
see.
admiring it, and the smells are wonderful, which will probably make me hungry sooner than later.
That is the idea. Well,
How
let's...
do you keep that mist going, by the way? That's impressive.
Oh, that is just a minor enchantment. You see, the artistry that the chefs here use is to actually weave small bits of magic in with each of the individual things. So that is a permanent chilling effect, sort of enchanted into the ingredients to provide it a particular unique flavor.
I see. Clever, and keeps the food cool and fresh at the same time, as well as adding a mystical effect. That's rather. And he starts writing down sort of notes as the conversation's going.
He kind of moves on as the two of you have a chance to chat.
So I was going to say, when you said artistry, you were talking more about that chilling mist and the enchantments, not really the food itself, right?
Well, I mean, I haven't tasted any of it yet, but the carvings, the thinness of the slices, the dexterity that went into preparing some of these. But
No, it's amazing. It's just you're somebody with an eye for magic, and most of this is magically made. Not to say
no,
anything.
that's slightly disappointing, actually. To be fair,
It is. I mean, well, don't get me wrong. The chefs are very good. Most of them are amazing, but as is with many things in Amaris, they lean a little bit too much on magic sometimes. And I would say most of the enchanted looking dishes don't have as much taste as you might think. So if you do get hungry, I would suggest some of the more plain looking ones.
oh well, impressive though.
No, it's impressive, and there's a lot of practical uses here. Say if you were to ever document and release that sort of chilling magic and let commoners use it to keep foodstuffs stable for long periods of times, then it would be a really interesting spell to share.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like common mines, we have to carve out the ice during the winter, drag it all the way down to the bottom of the mine so that we can keep anything fresh. This would be, yes.
Exactly, it'd be a lifesaver. Is it not overwhelming for you, almost, looking at this table of enchanted food and the ceiling and everything else? Does the magic here not kind of overwhelm you at this point?
I'm not, I think, as attuned to it quite as you are. I have to say. So, if I was to go looking for it, then perhaps, but no.
Do you think you're getting a little more attuned, though? Even in the few days I've known you, it just seems like you have an eye for it.
I'm just confused at how trivially they treat magic, and yet at the same time, how rigid and controlling they can be about it.
It's a topic that one could write many books on, but this is a great example of the entire city on one table, in my opinion, because yes, the magic used on this table is the result of so many individuals studying for so many years and so much research, and people are just scarfing it down, and it's somewhat disrespectful, and that's how I feel about it too. But Amaris has always seen it as, if you have the status and the power to use the magic, you can do whatever you want with it.
Right, but you'd have to line up a whole load of first years from the university just sort of casting magic all morning to get this lot out.
That's what they do to some extent. Talented chefs design the dishes and the courses, but a lot of the grunt work is actually done by students or magical practitioners of younger years. Makes you think and feel differently about the food when you think about it like that.
What I'm slightly perplexed about, some of these, now that you mention it, and I'm thinking about it a bit more, some of these require concentration. So I'm imagining that, right, like in the back room somewhere, there's some poor lad sat on the floor thinking all day about the food that he can't even bloody eat.
She's gonna she's gonna turn around and glance around the room. Can she spot any of the servants that are most likely doing something like that? Because I'm sure that she would know that there's like somebody controlling the mist or something like that.
You don't appear so. Make an Arcana check
Let's see.
as you're kind of looking over.
Yeah. 25.
So, looking over everything, what you're actually surprised about sort of studying, and this would have been an incredible expense, is they actually used magical ingredients to help create a, much like you would craft an enchanted item or brew a potion. These foods are not concentration or have spells held on them or anything. They're actually intricately crafted by probably very high-end artisans. And
so it's definitely made with just insane ingredients.
mhm.
Okay. So she'll kind of tuck her clutch under her arm and like look around the room as if she's trying to find one of these individuals, and then you see her go like this, and there's a slight distortion between her fingers, and she like glances at some of the food and then around the room, and oh, I'm mistaken. They spent an astronomical amount of money and actually used reagents and very high-end ingredients in the food this time.
What, they're innately magical?
They're innately magical, yes. The amount I don't even want to. In the back of her head, she's trying to calculate a monetary value. Like, is there a rough, super rough estimate
lot.
she could throw out?
A lot.
It's a lot.
Okay. Yeah, she's a lot of platinum, which just waste yet again.
Yeah.
At this point, Hadrian and Wastora would be walking back to you guys around the table, along with Macy. You guys would spot Garth walking across the room with Cadoris as they're making. Cadoris is leading Garth back towards somewhere.
Magnar, protect me from this author.
Sir Blush, a pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. This is quite the eccentric group. Oh, are you, Nick? Are you saying something? I think you're muted.
You're muted.
I was saying, as we would be walking back, though, Macy totally incited Hadrian before
I did.
we get back to the group. Like,
Yeah.
Hadrian was glancing at Anais, and there was like a bit of a blush in his cheeks and his eyes cast down. And before they were joining, I don't know if you want to do anything about it, but you made your 28 fucking insight check, you goddamn bastard. So.
As they're getting back to the group, Macy's sort of positioning himself right next to Hadrian and is sort of pushing him slightly towards Anais and sort of try to do it as subtly as possible. As the conversation's happening.
Can we make insight rolls to see what?
Yeah.
Please
I'll make a sleight of hand, I guess.
Yeah, sleight of hand.
Good idea. Yeah.
Insider perception.
Nat 2024.
I'm too focused on.
Magnus not trying to perceive anything, so.
Only
I
the
love you,
slightest,
James.
That's the food.
Just the slightest nudge as immediately Macy is sort of looking to Anais. So I have to ask. I know you're a big fan of mine. We really should have a private discussion, discuss some of my work.
Oh, I'm quite a fan
That's
too,
a
actually.
lovely idea.
Oh, well, I mean, I can't, I can't discuss it with everyone at once, can I?
Well,
You could do like a salon.
A salon. What do you
Like
mean?
like a get together at a fancy location, have a discussion, intellectual conversations.
Is that like a book?
Out of character, like a Parisian salon of like.
Yeah. What are you getting at here, Macy? What's up, Macy?
As you feel yourself sort of bumped forward a little.
Well, I mean, I guess the question is who wants to stay and hear about books and who wants to go off and have fun elsewhere?
I think we have some important
I-
business to
I will,
discuss.
as Mistora is saying that, I will bow towards Anais and say, "Milady Inquisitor, may I have a dance?"
I'm not really the dancing type.
I think you are, though. You said that you dance with spell and sword. I want to see how good you are.
That's when I'm trying to fight people.
And you don't think you want to fight me, even in a metaphorical context?
Everybody gathered in this tight group right now watches Anna turn 5 different shades of red, probably from irritation. And she leans.
Irritation, definitely.
Yes, Macy, I'll kick your
Totally.
ass too. um,
And again, he's being very serious. That you can see he's completely genuine here.
Sure he is.
As she's turning shades of red, though, I don't know if James still has his headset on, but before she does anything else, she's going to lean down and whisper in Magnar's ear and just say, "Thank you for giving me cover in regards to Macy." And she's going to put a hand on his shoulder and do protection from evil and good on him. Is just like giving him something back for the blessing and for the help that provided, and designating
Alright.
undead while she does it.
Well, it's,
Okay.
it's everything, but
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Does her
think you have to
version
pick.
do it? Okay, sorry, I thought it was one that I had to actually declare.
I'm simply
Simply what?
he's just looking at Anais. Just
I hate to interrupt,
Yes.
but there was something I wanted to mention to Inquisitor Clementine. There was a young. Actually, I don't know how old she is. How old was
She
Marquise?
looks maybe 17, 18.
Oh, so she's.
But she had elf ears, so hard to say.
Marquine Satine, who you
Make
might
a
see
history
is
check,
over there.
Anais.
20.
20. You have heard of the Marquise Satine. She is a troublemaker, a rebel. She has a talent for getting kicked out of places and parties and interrupting things. She's a prankster. She regularly breaks the law. And but not in like I'm doing bad crimes, but like trying to cause trouble for other nobles. Steals, plays pranks, gets into trouble. She is sort of the black sheep of the family. So you're surprised to hear that she's here, but most likely got dragged because it's she is the much younger sister of Avril.
Oh, okay.
So Marquis Satine. Sora obviously does not know Anais knows all this.
Yeah.
Seems to be quite a unique individual. I happen to notice that she is placing jars of bees around the party. Now, that aside, and I suggest that you let that slide, because I think we might be able to use her to our advantage. I don't know if we've really discussed the whole thing with Quintilius and Godric, but the music that's being played apparently is a product of Godric's work. This is indeed the music that Godric was working with Quintilius to prepare. It's on some sort of magical recording being played through the chandeliers, some sort of magical enchantment on the chandeliers that's playing them. And I managed to pique Marquis Satine's interest in perhaps playing a bit of a joke on this music to replace it with something else. And I did suggest, because I was unable to, that you might be able to help her with that. I do apologize apologize for volunteering you for that task. I don't know what abilities you may or may not have that could assist in it, but I did not have any good ideas for myself.
I don't think you have to apologize for brilliant strategizing, Mistora, because that sounds like you did some amazing work in a very short time. The bees are concerning.
I know. But they
But-
are an annoyance within the bigger picture of things. I think.
Exactly. I think that using them as a chess piece in this is a very good idea, and they don't pose any real lasting harm when everything else that we all know is going on is on the table. And she her eyes pass over Macy as
Yes,
she's saying
things
that.
we all know. Yes.
Yes, things
At
we
least
all
the
know.
party will be a buzz.
Oh my god.
Is that
Okay.
is that
so
is that is that is that a joke? Is that your
No.
writer's wit?
I
No,
think
no, that was that.
Sir,
that
Sir
a
Blush?
joke. I would know.
It's a buzz, bees.
I don't see it.
You don't like
Anyway.
puns in your stories? I find that hard to believe.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. But on the topic, with practical jokes, if you're going to go off and explore some practical jokes, I mean, who better to take with you other than this fine, strapping young man? Obviously, no, not me. The large one, Hadrian.
Oh, not how I would describe Hadrian,
Kind of
but
lacks subtlety for practical jokes. No offense, Adrian.
I don't think you need subtlety with a practical joke. If this person's putting bees everywhere, who's better to do it than something about, I don't know, evil people?
I'll leave it up to you. I offered to introduce you later, Anais, to Marquis Satine. So,
wait, does she know
Hadrian
me,
and you
Frosty?
Who?
Satine, the sister. Has she bumped into me in the time that I've been here?
Not since you've been at the party.
Well, no, but she knows.
no, but in general,
Yeah, she's
yeah.
heard of you.
Okay,
I don't
I'm-
imagine there's been any direct
I don't.
interaction.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
But
No,
Well-
because she did ask me to introduce her. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Before we get into the talk of practical jokes or anything else like that, the bees chess piece, very good idea. I think that we could benefit from the music, though. You said Godric contributed to this piece that's playing.
yes, I don't know if we've probably should have discussed this with you beforehand. So Quintilius, the son of the queen, has been working to prepare the music that's being performed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Show.
Godric posed as a friend of his by the name of Godot, who we are currently waiting for to show up. I'm sorry, I can't get over that joke now that it's there.
I'm sorry.
I planted that seed.
I'm being blamed for the puns.
Oh,
And
I
at that
noticed
point-
the Godot name.
No, and at
But
that
now we're
point,
actually waiting
Adrian
for
is just gonna he was. Listen, we could have stopped it if we had fucked with the music. We haven't. It's here.
Well, but the point is, we can stop it.
We
You
can't.
might be-
Stuck with it now.
No. The Marquis Satine has a plan, or has an idea on how it might be done. Might involve, she thinks, invisibility. Maybe you can try to get up there, but at the very least, it's a possibility.
Then let her carry out her plan.
I don't think she can do it alone. And this is the first lead we've had to disrupt anything of Godric's
Well,
plans.
Because I'm still playing catch up to an extent with this, and that's no fault of any of yours with how much has been going on. Do you think the music is more than music? Are you saying that it's something that Godric
It
plans to use?
absolutely is more than music.
Yeah,
Godric is a
I would
theatrical
think so.
person at heart, and he is summoning himself here through the music itself.
The
If
music-
we wish to disrupt it, we can try, but it is enchanted, and frankly, if you stop him from coming here now, he will come in a different form.
I think anything that can disrupt his plans, however minor.
Could I make some sort of check on that, Frosty? Like, I mean,
To-
Arcana. Does the music seem enchanted in some way, or does this seem like
Sure, make
a
a
conspiracy theory? Which
make an Arcana check.
Okay. I will give myself guidance. I'll give myself a little pat on the shoulders and trying to listen in on the music,
I can do it. I can
I
do
can
it.
do it.
hyping myself up.
think
I'm my own hype man. That's
Thank you.
Nice.
All right. So, listening in, this seems like a fairly classical just waltz. There's nothing strange or unusual about the music. It is a bit like relative musical like development and
Okay.
taste. It is very old fashioned. Um and uses particular harmonies that have been out of favor for a long time, so it's sort of bringing it back kind of a new sound or an old sound, but you're not noticing, other than the fact that they have it being magically played, like they recorded it and then are using, your best guess would be if the sound was stored inside the crystals of the chandeliers and it's letting them out, letting the sound out, sort of magical recording mechanism. That'd be the only mystical thing you can hear in the music.
Um,
I
Sir
Well,
Mason,
oh yes, sorry.
you've been jotting notes down.
Of course. I always
Tell
do.
us what you've learned.
Well, there are numerous types of delections here. There was some sort of eel. There was this beautiful pastry. I don't. Okay. I will say, the music route. I don't hear it personally,
Mm.
but from my brief understandings of what interplay and such you have going on here, perhaps Wistora, right? I'm still getting names. Wistora,
Yes, that's correct, sir. Sir Mason.
and Anais. Oh,
Yes.
Anais. Is that? I've
Anais.
written it.
Anais.
Anais.
Yes.
Okay. And maybe Wistora could take Anais and Hadrian over to sabotage the music, or I don't know. Personally, I think you should just go dance your hearts out, while I can give a lengthy report to Magnar and get some information in return with Barry's help.
At that, I will turn to Anais and
Hold on.
bow genuinely.
Yes. Hold on. I'm the ritual. I am still playing catch up. Is there a chance this music is tied to the runes in the city that my fellow wonderful people that I work with are currently getting ready to disrupt?
It doesn't seem so.
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, it might be a timing issue.
The music seems to be normal music.
Well, for
And
now, sure. You keep yourself sort of lulled into a false sense of security with some old-timey, sort of ordinary music, and then when you get to a crescendo, bang, magical shit.
It could
May I
change
say?
once it reaches a crescendo. That's true. Yeah.
It could, but until then, there is only music in this world, and we cannot know where it will go. But we can appreciate the music at the time it is played.
I suppose that's a very philosophical way to look at it, but I'm thinking more practically of what's about to happen, and if there's a chance.
Your practical brain here is interfering. Nothing will come of it. We'll have to fight my brother. But until then, you said you were good with the dance.
I did, but I don't
With a
want
sword.
to dance when I'm thinking about all the death that is about to fall.
Death?
No.
It's
I
not
didn't-
about the death.
No death.
Anais. Milady Inquisitor.
Stop calling me milady. It's just Anais.
I'm sorry. Anais. Do me the honor of a dance here. Let me see how good you are.
Why the fuck do you want to dance so badly?
Because I'm bored. And because the entire world is coming to hell in a handbasket. And if we could have even a moment of fun, of competition in this, to see who's better at dancing.
Based on how I picture they're all standing right now, she's going to lock eyes with Wistora. Just give
Casey
her
is
a
like trying to like interpose.
Inquisitor Clementine, would you like to have a private word for a moment?
just one moment. Yes, stay
Yes.
there, Hadrian and everyone. One moment.
I'll stay there.
All right. As the two of you walk away for a moment, we're going to jump to Kadoris and Garth. So, Garth, as you're led back across the other side of the ballroom, across the golden tiles and everything, out through a large sort of garden atrium that's open to the outside, you can see there's a bit of growth and vines and ivy kind of working their way up. You spot the guy who mugged you,
Oh shit!
Cha Cha Chetney.
The little one. Yeah.
Yep. And several of his gnomish companions fiddling with a door on the far side into what looks like some towers into the rest of the castle. Kind of keeping secret, like behind themselves, looking. You kind of notice as Kadoris is walking by and leading you towards the kitchen. He's like, this is where all of the servants, I know some of them, the other students like myself, preparing everything, but we had to move all of the mead and ale into the back, and I figured you could use a real drink, and I know I certainly could.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. I look towards the gnomes. Should we tell someone about this?
He looks over and one Cha Cha Chetney kind of looks at you and is like, hey there, it's been a while since I've seen ya. Don't pay any attention to this. We're just checking the doors for any cracks, holes in the security. We're just glancing around. It's no big deal. But how can I help you two gentlemen?
Could I make an insight on that?
Sure.
Insight check. 13.
Seems to be telling the truth.
He's clean.
Of course I am. I keep my nose clean. Remember, I'm the friendly welcoming committee. I helped you find your way around town.
Right, but what are you doing here?
I got an invitation. What do you think? You want me to prove it? Pulls out an invitation.
I'll take it later over. It looks like the one I got. Hand it back.
So what's a big guy like you doing here? I mean, you guys up to any trouble here? Anything? Hey, we ain't crossing paths again, are we? Because I mean, last time we ran into each other, we had to split jobs and everything. That whole thing was a big mess. It got taken care of. I'm glad we worked it out. You talked to the big boss man, but you ain't working here either, are you?
No. Oh, I'm simply here on business.
Ain't that working, my friend? Whatever. Hey, you have a great time at the party.
You as well. Try to keep this job going. By the way, that ring you got, did you get it?
Oh yeah, piece of cake. Well, okay, not a piece of cake. A couple people got injured. There was a whole giant statue thing. It cut people up. In a big fight, had to run off. One of my guys, he got captured and nicked. We got to break him out of jail. It's a whole big mess. But we got it.
Interesting. Good, and I assume it's in safe hands.
Hey, I don't know. I sold it to the guy who wanted me to get. I gave it to the guy who hired me. He was happy to get it. They transferred. They did whatever they wanted with it.
Well, it's better than who wanted it originally, I think. From what I've been told.
You were saying some big nasty guy was coming into town.
Oh yeah, by the way, you might want to leave.
Why would I leave this wonderful party?
There's gonna be a big fight.
That is a real shame. I can't see any advantage to a big kerfluffle happen around town.
Right.
It would absolutely be a shame if everyone in this party had to pay attention to something else other than the wonderful party that's going on.
That would be.
I appreciate your advice, and I might take it under advisement. We might find our way a nice sort of back room out so that we don't cause any interruptions, right? Wouldn't want to get caught in whatever's going down.
Of course not. I mean, I would hate to see you get hurt, is all I'm saying.
Hey, you watch your own caboose, my friend.
I hired you to do that, actually.
Hey, that ain't my job.
I paid you gold to watch my back, didn't I?
pay me gold to make sure that you found the place nice and safe and that no accidents happen. Hey, any accidents happen? Nope, we're doing our job.
Right. That's true. Well, I've got prior engagements. Have a great rest of the party.
You as well. You as well. Hey, Dadawato, get yourself back to work. Walks off. Yo,
Right. I can't drink too much, so I need to be on fighting shape.
oh no, of course. I just I figured you could use a real drink, and I needed one. As he kind of leads you into the back, and you can see a whole bunch of sort of people in chef's outfit and servant workers kind of moving around and set up in this back room. He goes back and kind of talks to one of them a little bit, and it's like, the ale's over here. And pours himself a glass. And you see him take a big swig, kind of looking around nervously. He pours you a glass, and he's like, here, I understand you can't drink much, but
Yeah. I'll take a swig.
it's good, yeah. And he takes another big swig.
Pace yourself. I feel like I'm Barry again.
Oh no, it's okay. I just he hiccups a little bit. I was wondering, since we're here and we had such a wonderful camping trip and the music is pleasant, I don't know, how do I ask? And he's kind of turning a little red. Takes another sip of the ale real quick. Would you like to dance?
Sure, I mean, I just learned like yesterday how to dance, so I mean, I probably won't be very good.
I learned from my grandma at after school lessons. I could teach you if you would. He quickly pours another ale and drinks it.
Well,
I could lead.
Sure, hand me the barrel.
He hands you the barrel. I thought
Oh,
you
sh-
said you could not drink much.
I'll hold on to this for now.
Of course. He sips. He's like, so kind of. We when would you like to dance? We could dance now or finish our drink, or we don't.
Well, we should dance in the main area, shouldn't we? That's where everyone else is doing it.
Yeah, that's where we should dance. He
Can I
gulps.
can I make an insight on this?
Yeah.
Just to kind of see what he's feeling, kind of what kind of vibes giving off. A 12.
It's not hard to see that he's kind of nervous.
Is that what it
very
is?
kind of shaky, very nervous, blushing a little bit, a little tipsy already from the drinking.
I'll take his hand.
There's a little bit of excitement.
I'll take his hand like between my hands. Are you nervous? You're shaking like.
Goes just puts his other hand around your hand, holding his. Not anymore.
Good. I know it's scared. It's going to be a big fight, but I need you to steel your nerves.
Yes, steel nerves. Adventure. We are adventurers, hardened, brave.
Right. This time, don't be like the rabbit you were last time and run.
I will not
Stand
run.
up and fight.
Of course. We
Let's
must
get that. Let's get
be
that dance.
brave.
Yes. To the dance, then. Yes.
Yes, to the dance.
And I will lead this time on the way back.
Okay, you lean back, kind of holding his hand as he stumbles behind you, back out to the floor. And we're gonna cut back to Westora and Anais. Did you guys step away?
Yeah, she'll go like a table or two away with Stora, so they're like out of earshot, clutching the clutch against her chest tightly the entire time until she's pretty sure that they can't be heard. Am I overreacting at the whole music people in danger thing? Should I be focusing on dancing right now? Because it just
I don't know. He seems very aggressive about it. It seems he's very insistent on the dancing. Seems very forward.
Yeah, but
Not. I don't know. It seems like we've got very important things going on. Certainly, I expect us all to be dancing at some point tonight, but we were in the middle of kind of having an important conversation. It seems.
yeah, that's what I. This is gonna sound really, really stupid, but I'm trying to ask you if the stick is too far up my ass right now, and if there's actually a threat here, or if I am just being a bitch. Because I don't think I'm being a bitch with everything that we got writing on this. It's just that conversation was really weird, and I didn't know what to do.
Um. Okay. I thought it was a bit awkward of a conversation. I personally don't like it when a man is particularly insistent about anything.
Agreed.
Uh, but if you want to dance, there certainly isn't anything pushing us to rush it. Our plan to work with Marquis Satine, it doesn't happen until she at least meets you, and you can work out something with her. And I still plan on doing some more socializing and speaking to a few more people. But dance, in the meantime, is not going to disrupt things, I don't think.
What do you think with your own unique connection to, and I don't mean that in a bad way, it's your own very particular connection to magic. What do you think about the music and everything that you were told? Do you think there's anything to it?
Um, I, I, I don't know anything magic related. All I know is Godric wanted to be involved in the music, and I have to ask why. It's less about magic; it's more about the politics. Why would somebody like Godric, who's planning on doing a surprise appearance at the Queen's birthday, ingratiate himself with the Queen's son in order to put on a particular type of music? Could be showmanship. It's not above Godric.
Could be. Yeah.
Or it could be something more nefarious. All I know is that regardless of the reasons why, I don't want him to have it.
It seems like it would be an easy thing to nullify and take off the table regardless, right?
That's
Like
my thoughts.
if we change the music and nothing changes in the end besides the tune that's playing,
What
we're
what
not
have we lost? Nothing.
exactly. We're not at a loss. But if we don't, and it is something that tips the scales in his favor,
Then
we'd
we've
regret
lost
it.
a lot. Yes. That's my thinking at least.
Well, I would like to meet with her as soon as we possibly can, just so we do have something cooking behind the scenes. I think she'll probably have to do the heavy lifting, unless we can spread it around us, but we're a little.
Yeah, I don't know. She seemed to have some thoughts, but they all required magical capabilities that she doesn't seem to have access to. So
Hmm.
she mentioned either dispel magic of some sort, which I don't have, some form of invisibility, which I don't have. Um, all I have really is some sort of teleportation, but that would be quite obvious in the middle of the room. So I don't know.
Well, I have both those spells memorized, so if we do need those, I would
See,
be able to provide it.
I thought you might.
Not the thing that one would typically bring to a ball, but with this being a very special ball,
I have a feeling you're often very prepared.
painfully so to the point that relaxing is hard. But in a case like
Well,
this, I think
Marquis Satine's not going to get to you in a minute. If you would really like to dance, now might be a good time to relax a bit. Might make things a little bit easier later on.
it would. I I have been around the courts for a very long time, and I do know how to dance rather well. A question for you, though, if you can help spark my memory. Can you remind me of a dance, because I'm blanking in this moment, that is one where you don't have to touch much? I have issues with physical contact, to put
Well,
it very lightly, and if I know there's a certain style of this dance, and I cannot think of it right now.
I mean, typically you might have waltzes and things like that, but there's usually a lot of very formulaic dances or large group dances where people go onto the floor and they pass by each other. They might hold hands for a second or two, and then they'll change partners and things like that. And they'll get back
Yes.
together. I would wait for one of those group dances. That would keep some distance.
Let
That
me know when I can come in.
that would be absolutely perfect. I've seen them before. I just couldn't think of the bloody name right now. But if we can wait for one of those with some people from the group or something, I think that would be best to try and relax.
May I explain?
Were you talking with a muted mic? Sorry, Nick. Were you talking with a muted mic, Frosty, or did you not say anything?
Can you guys hear
Oh,
me?
we can. It just
Now-
looked
now we
like
can
you.
now.
It looked like you had said something and we didn't hear it.
I was
was
going to
gonna-
say. Go ahead.
I was going to say, may I at this point in time?
Well, we will be coming back shortly. I just wanted to get this piece first.
I was going to say, it's time for our break.
Ah. Well, then we can take a break and then come back to
And then
dancing.
we'll come back as
Yep.
They're
No,
joins back up.
Hadrian is totally going to dance with Anais after the break. Thank you.
There we go. And I will take us over to break.
All right. And we are back. So, as we left off, you guys were all gathering back up. The night has been going on. As you guys have been socializing and moving around, and people are starting to move onto the dance floors. The music's kind of picking up. And people are moving around, going about the very popular celebration. One of the things that you guys would notice is Avril seems to have met with a owlin. The owlin you saw earlier at one of the windows, and their conversation did not seem to go very well. The owlin kind of left sad and upset, seemed a little distraught, and the queen was a little
It was the queen
upset.
who spoke to the owl.
Yeah. The owlin kind of approached the queen. You've also noticed that the gentleman who wasn't wearing a mask with the billowing long coat and blouse has been keeping a very sharp eye on the queen. Sort of casually, doing very little socializing, kind of keeping to the distance, kind of keeping an eye on her a little bit. And you guys had a little bit of time to kind of socialize and talk. Was there anything that you guys were doing before moving on to any particular dances that you want to do as all the dancing is getting started?
Depending on when the dances start, Wasora might go speak to the mysterious individual, maskless one,
Okay.
when she gets the chance. But if the dances pick up and everybody begins dancing and Wasora is asked to dance, then she might do that instead. But with the idea,
You'd have a
as soon
little
as-
bit of time to talk to him. Not much,
Okay.
but a little bit.
I'll go and try to speak to him. I'm curious about who he is.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Madam Mastora.
You seem to know who I am, but
You had the rather colorful introduction.
thank you. I do try to make an impression. I don't believe I know you, good sir.
I am the Baron Sengir Markov of Wallachia. Charmed to meet your acquaintance. And he reaches out his hand to hold yours and gives a bow.
I hold up my hand. I don't know if he's like reaching to like do the kiss thing. Or,
Basically, yeah.
yeah, I extend my hand and then do a curtsy.
As he kisses, make a perception check. You don't notice as he
I
smiles.
rolled a 9. I do have my talisman. I could technically add a D4 to that, but I don't think a 13 would help much.
And to what do I owe the pleasure of your company?
Well, you seem to be the only one without a mask tonight, and that strikes me as a very intriguing.
We Valachians are very proud of our appearance, and I don't see the point of playing such games to hide themselves. I'd prefer to make my presence known and memorable.
And you think that accessorizing, hiding, is not memorable?
I think that on this particular evening, I would like to be recognized.
The queen is quite recognizable in her mask, don't you think so?
Indeed.
I'd say she's quite striking. One might almost seem infatuated or focused on her.
She is a rather fascinating individual. The Ameresians have a long history with Wallachia, and we are endeavoring to advance that relationship.
Which would mean attending the queen's birthday.
It seemed like an opportunity I could not miss.
You know, there might be more opportunities tonight to ingratiate yourself with the queen, I would think.
My niece has actually informed me of many things that are going on tonight. I am looking forward to it.
I don't believe I've had the occasion to meet your niece, have I? Oh, I have indeed, actually. I'm sorry, Marco. No, he's Valakian, not Marco. Not Marco. You're right.
Marcushian. Yeah.
Marcusian. So I've not met his niece. Okay.
I don't know. Are you familiar with the composer, the Dranary Whistle?
David does not recall that name. Does Wistora know it?
She heard it as one of the people helping Quintilius and Godot
Oh, okay.
compose the music.
Really, very interesting. She worked with Quintilius, did she?
Indeed. She has managed to ingratiate herself with many people in this society and informed me of quite a bit that is going on behind the scenes.
Really? Did she mention a man named Godot?
Not by that name, no.
Perhaps Godric?
That is a name I am more familiar with, yes.
Ah. You know, I hear tell that he might make an appearance tonight.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me, not so much, because I do believe that there might be some people that we wish to build relationships with who life he might threaten.
Well, depending on how the events of the evening go and your particular actions, when the excitement begins, the Valakians would be happy to have such a relationship with you and yours.
I'm very, very happy to hear that. Trying to think if there's anything else. Are you familiar with Inquisitor Jill DeRay?
I have not had the pleasure of meeting his acquaintance, but his reputation precedes him. He is not very well liked amongst my people.
I don't think he's very well liked among many people.
I imagine not.
I dare say that a man like that might have intentions regarding the Queen and Godric. Intentions that I don't think you would agree with.
I'm sure there are plenty of intentions on the Queen here in Amaris.
Yes.
It is the price of such a position, but I doubt that the Ameresian people would do as well without her gentle hand.
I think it'd be quite tragic if her hand was lost.
Quite the tragedy, indeed.
Well, it has been a real pleasure speaking with you.
Charmed.
Indeed. And I give a courtesy. And I leave.
He bows and watches you very closely as you walk away before returning his attention to the Queen.
Yeah.
What are the rest of you?
I'm
Oh.
still asking him. He's read down, but
How loud is the music?
It's picking up and getting louder and has a little bit more energy to it. People are starting to flood onto the dance floor to move and start sort of doing the sort of ornate courtly dance as they pass and kind of raise arms together, spinning around, holding hands, bowing to each other as they shift and dance
Okay.
in this swaying motion.
You all
Magnar-
are being so stiff. Magnar, would you care to dance? with me?
I'll be with you momentarily. Sorry, wrong voice. I'll be with you momentarily. I'll just need to
You
finish.
seem surprised by my proposition.
Totally by a
choose
little
to
bit
dance.
my surprise there. Let me just finish building this, and then I'll join you on the dance floor. You'll see that Magnar is holding napkins and noodles and the finest grained sort of couscous that he can find, and is off building like a little sort of suspended sheet with the grains on it, with the knives and forks attached to it, and he's trying to get the grains to bounce to the music.
Love it.
Fascinating.
I love
Make
it too.
a tools check.
Okay.
What tool set would you like to try and use to do this?
Oh, give me a second.
Can I give guidance just because I'm fascinated by what?
Yes, yes.
I have Tinker's tools.
Tinker's tools is what I was thinking of. So
Okay. So, oh god, actually, I've never done. How do I have to do a tools check? Is that? Is that into skills? Is that...
It should below the skills. There's like an extra thing where you can add a tool in.
Oh god, sorry.
it's okay.
Add to skills. No, Smith's tools, Tinker tools. There it is. Attributes. Dexterity
Yeah, this would be a dexterity
or
one.
intelligence.
I'd say this would be dexterity because
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
trying
it's
to
pretty- it's
balance
really-
everything and
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Normal roll. That is a 16, and I'm going to throw a hero point on it.
Well, no, you get. I also get a D4 from guidance.
Oh, a D4 from guidance. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
In that case. That's an extra. That's 17, and 1 point from the hero dice. Oh, thank you, dice. That's 17, 18.
Oh, Magnar.
So the little things seem to vibrate a little bit. It's not working entirely, but it does seem sensitive enough to slightly react to the sounds and waveforms that are being put off by everything, and the resonance of the music. It's just faintly. As you're kind of concentrating on that.
Okay. Is Anais anywhere nearby?
I figured we're all standing in that group.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, 'cause,
Yeah.
Westora and I came back. so-
Anais,
At that
just
point,
before you
Adrian
go.
was still asking her to dance, so
Right.
you
Well,
know.
just before you go off and dance, Anais, your true sight.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, you can see illusions. Yes.
Yes, that's why things are overwhelming sometimes.
Right.
Why?
Well, obviously auditory illusions and things like that. We can't keep casting detect magic or anything else on the magic. So I've set this little rig up in the corner. I wonder if you could use your true sight upon it
All right,
and see if
like
if you can see illusionary patterns in the dancing grains.
Ooh.
oh, Magnar, that's quite brilliant. And yeah, she'll turn and kind of specifically focus on it. Does she notice anything?
Make an Arcana check at disadvantage.
At disadvantage.
Well, it's
How
a bit
dare you.
shoddy.
No, I know.
I still got a 23 with disadvantage.
So, what you are noticing in it is as the music picks up, as the dance music is picking up, there do seem to be faint wisps of magic in the music. They don't seem to go anywhere, but between kind of the way that everything is moving, you're noticing small little occasional trails of sort of embedded in the sound, these wisps of energy trailing off into the rest of the city and around the party. It is very faint, and it doesn't actually like amount to anything right now. You're not seeing any particular forms of magic or degrees, and it's subtle enough that it would just sort of blends in with the rest of the ether and the air. But there is something hidden in there.
Oh my AO.
Right, so we'll just leave this running as a beacon, and yes, right. Anyway.
Yeah, again, Hadrian is still asking for a dance, so
She knows that. She is panicking about the magic right now, Nick.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
So without a shadow of a doubt, she can tell the wisps are going off into the city, right?
And around the party, in general, it's really hard to say because they are so faint and minute and not really connected to anything.
Mm-hmm. And does it have? It doesn't have a particular flavor of magic, right?
No.
Okay, just generic disturbance in the weave.
Yeah.
She is going to, as this is happening, and she's like focusing.
It's almost the best way to describe it would be the way the particular harmonies of the different sounds in the music are interweaving. Is that as the chimes are resonating and producing the sound, the way that the ambient magic sort of collides and creates a slight interference pattern that does seem to create a bit of wisp, of sort of trail of energy. But right now, that magic isn't doing anything. It's just sort of a coincidental byproduct.
But it's still something that I've never typically seen before, and I can probably connect the dots on it.
Even with your arcana and study and knowledge, you don't know how it's possible for this to happen. It shouldn't be possible for these interacting sounds and the projection of the illusion magic being given off to create the music. It shouldn't create something like this. Is a deeper understanding of magic in order to do this, or a new avenue of something to study if it's a coincidence.
Question then, because I think I know how I'm going to handle it. But if I took the ring off and like gave it to Magnar or Westor or anybody in the party, would they be able to see it, or is it really just that I oh, okay, it's not just because like I'm trained and whatever, it's because of the true sight, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't have to attune to it.
Oh, point. Duh. Okay.
Yeah.
She's gonna use a what can I do that doesn't message? She's gonna use message as she's kind of watching what's going on, and she's going to send the same message one by one, though it'll be really fast, to everybody because she doesn't want to say it out loud. But she's going to send the first message to Magnar and just kind of lock eyes with him for a second and indicate her head at the marvelous contraption and just say, there is magic being emanated by the music that's interacting with that, and you are fucking brilliant because there's something going on with it, and it's spiraling through the room and out into the city probably. And some variation of that to everybody else of just like Magnar's invention works and the music is producing magic that's interacting with things.
I really appreciate being included in this message. Sorry, I know I can respond, so I just wanted to.
You're welcome.
Thank you for including me.
Yes.
I feel like part of the team now.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know what that means or what we should do with that particularly, but that is incredibly concrete evidence, Magnar, because I've never seen an interaction like that before with the weave.
Well, I would say am I okay to say this out loud? You sort of went all skullduggery.
I was trying to keep some of the details in the down low, but yes,
Perhaps by looking at if it's movement that seems to be capturing it, maybe observing dancing to the music. Maybe the dancing is triggering something?
Possibly. It could be. The thing is, whatever's happening right now is beyond my understanding of magic, and not that I'm an impressive researcher or anything like that, but I know my way around it. And this is an unknown variable that I've never ran into before. Something is something is affecting it, and it could be dancing could be contributing to it. I don't know.
You know, they do say when there's a dance and, there's magic in the air, so this is just a literal version of that, I guess.
To understand this, we might need to immerse ourselves in it.
Exactly.
We might as well and see if anything comes up with it. I advise everyone to keep their eyes out as much as possible, because if this is part of his scheme, we could be playing a piece of a ritual or something like that. But I think you're right that we should join one of these dances and see.
And then observe again when the music maybe changes or picks up.
Yes. I suppose all your teaching at Strixhaven is going to pay off.
Perhaps. I never did sub as a music teacher. It was a little bit outside of my forte.
Just academia in general. But if everyone else wants to join in with us and hop into one of these dances, I think we at least could do some reconnaissance.
Yes, a reconnor dance.
I'll smile and bow. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hadrian, I'm sorry. Did you want to dance? Ustora is looking annoyingly cheeky when she says that. Very annoyingly cheeky.
I'm aware.
He's been doing a few rounds with Barry. He's been so impatient.
I haven't, but
Well, I do insist that you go and dance now.
Well, if anybody else wants to join as well, I will do my best for one of these
Magna?
court dances.
You guys do spot Garth and Kadoris dancing on the floor. Already.
I will offer a hand to Anais and
She takes the hand.
show me how good you are here.
That gets a little hard to hear. You're a little muffled.
Sorry.
Looking down.
Sorry. Show me how good you are here.
I don't regularly do court dances, but I will try to keep it together for the...
Fuck court dances.
But this is a court dance.
If you say so.
I'm not the one making the rule. Well, anyway, let's go. And she's going to pull him into the dance, and she's going to try and join the best that she can, but she hasn't done this in a while, so we shall see, I suppose.
Right. So Kadoris and Garth are dancing. And while Anais and Hadrian head onto the dance floor, what are Westora, Macy Blush, and Magnar doing?
Magnar, you seem to be quite lovely, and we're of similar build. We won't be getting tangled in each other's heights or anything. Would you care for a dance?
Oh, yeah, I'll be delighted to. Can we find a bit of space? I just need to chalk out these steps before we begin.
Of course. I did notice you seem to be quite, priestly, clerical.
Oh, that's right, yes.
I'm going to make a wild assumption and say Deska?
Did the sort of embroidered hammers and such like give it away?
Also, the fact that you just tinkered a strange music grain device on a whim? Yes, perhaps.
Well, yes.
I'm actually a cleric myself.
Oh?
Yes. Oh, honey.
Oh! Well, there you go.
So, I'm quite, well, I shouldn't toot my own horn before I step on it, but once again, I'm sure I can lead you in a wonderful dance.
Right, and I'll try not to step on anything while I'm at it, horn or otherwise.
Exactly, go for it. And I will give bardic inspiration as well.
Okay. As you guys head onto the dance floor, I believe Hadrian wanted to talk to Anais during their dance. You're muted.
You're still muted, Nick.
Still muted. Zoom muted.
Still muted. Still muted.
Can
There
you
we
hear
go.
me now?
Yes.
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 All right. As she grabbed me on the dance floor, are you? I don't know, and I describe how you would want to dance with Adrian because
I mean, she grabbed his hand and yanked him onto the dance floor to just like get things moving with the party and the dance. But she would have tried to use what she knows about the court dances to insert them at the proper moment. And she was going for one of the ones that Westora was kind of describing, where, people are going back and forth and moving around, and you have like a few moments to talk here and there kind of thing.
Mhm.
So she would be dancing pretty, not robotically, but she'd be, I guess, no, robotically. She'd be trying to copy the moves of the dancers as best she can, and doesn't have a lot of dancing spirit.
and I'm seeing that I will raise an eyebrow and come. You surely have more spirit than that.
I mean, I do, but this is a very calculated thing, and it's not really up for interpretation of the moves.
Why isn't it?
Because it's a ball, and this is how dances go at balls. It can be still enjoyable, I assume, but I'm not going to suddenly misty step across the room or thunderstep again.
Oh, I smile so wide. Come on, Anais. Come on,
And
Miss Inferior Orange. You said that you were a person who danced with spell and sword. Show me. Show me how you dance.
I'm glad you still have a good eye for color, Hadrian, but if I'm inferior orange, I wonder what shade of black that makes you. Pathetic charcoal, she says as she spins around and leaves for
Pathetic.
a moment before she pops back.
As she spins around, he will sort of bow and pathetic charcoal. It's good, but I would have said sort of burnt out aubergine, or you could have done more. But I will bow. Madame Inquisitor, show me how you dance.
I literally am.
No, you're not. You're showing me in the courtly fashion. Have you heard of Astrian dance fighting? You said you dance with blade and spell. Match me. Mirror me. Let us see what you can do.
Does he
As he
start?
will start what?
Does he start like breaking the dance and doing something else, or sorry?
He will move away, bow to you, and you would recognize almost immediately the motions of a fencing match. As the dance moves he engages in become combative, but also clearly cooperative. You can see what he is doing. He moves into a sort of small crouch. A hand thrusts out, pulls back. And it's just about, as he said, match him.
In the moment that he decides to pull away and change the style of dance on the dance floor, because she's surrounded by a lot of other people dancing, you will watch her kind of stutter, not in speech, but step, of course, and she'll look at him with a sort of confused slash pleading look and kind of freeze for a second, as if she's trying to decide what to do and asking him, like, please don't break the dance kind of thing. And does he still keep doing it?
I will look up at her, acknowledge it, and just stare. And I will say to her, to you, let yourself dance here. It's corny as fuck, I know. But let it happen.
She turns a shade of red that almost matches her vibrant orange hair and vanishes.
As that happens and the dance is continuing,
I'll sit and wait for her.
you're kind of standing on the side of the dance floor.
Yep, I cross my arms, wait for her to come back.
Anais, move yourself 30 feet, I assume, if you misty stepped.
You don't know what I did. I mean, yes, you do.
Garth,
Or
you're
just
dancing with
waiting.
Cadoris is kind of like, I'm so happy I met you. I've learned so much about adventuring and everything and had a wonderful time. Dancing has been so pleasant. And I just, as you guys hear the music rising and rising, as your crescendo, he's like, I want to say, I would love to go on an adventure with you and your friends sometime. I have a feeling that you might be the source of my greatest adventure. And he leans in, sort of bashfully, he's turning red as he leans really close to lean in to kiss you. And as he puts his arm on your shoulder and kind of leans in, the music rises and then shifts and changes, and you hear a boom,
God damn it.
boom, 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 boom.
Well, that's a bit odd, isn't it?
And out of nowhere, as the music shifts to this deep bass tone,
Just dubstep.
boom, boom, you see a well-dressed figure manifest out of shadow
Oh no.
at the top of the stairs down to the dance floor, wearing this elaborate red flowing garment and suit, a skull mask over the face, and ratty material as dreaded hair, this huge hat, all reds with gold inlays, and the music seems to match his step. And that true sight you're starting to see go off around as Anais, as you appear by the table, and you hear in your head, "We are in position, but the runes have begun to light up. Would you like us to disrupt them now, Madame Inquisitor?"
Oof. Do I?
And as he steps forward, and you can see what was just faint wisps of magic have started to shift and turn into a dark, sort of black ink spreading through the air,
Do it now.
gathering and coalescing in certain places in rhythm to this dark thematic
Do it now.
music.
Do it now. Everyone, be safe and get back as soon as you can. Do it.
Everyone's kind of looking as this hush goes over the crowd. Jill kind of you see Jill kind of angle his head down. As to the beat, the gentleman slowly steps down the stairs, and those of you who have met Godric recognize the voice. "Why so silent, good messieurs? Did you think that I had left you for good? Have you missed me, good monsieur? I have come to you with an offer. Do you tremble? Are you all afraid? Alas, I blame you not, for you are mortal, and I a devil mortal eyes cannot endure." He gestures to the queen. "First, madame, I entreat true peace of you. For none amongst this princely heap, if any here, have aught committed to reconcile me to his friendly peace. If ever were any grudge lodged between us, that without warrant have frowned upon me, hold me a foe, for so much interest have I in thy sorrow. Dukes, earls, lords, gentlemen indeed," as he turns to face all of the gathered crowd. "Be it enmity now on the morrow, 'tis death to me. I have bewept a worthy death, and lived by looking on its image, but now a twisted mirror of his princely semblance. As everyone's kind of gasping and looking, several law mages come out, and he just waves with a hand and sends them flying against the wall. There's the respect, the dread of something after death, of so long life. The oppressor's wrong and law's delay. For thou hast snatched my home from mine arms. I art in mourning, yet thou art a mother to legion, my dear queen, which grieves me. And I for comfort have embraced false life that makes calamity, for who would willingly bear the whips and scorns of time? Alas, being but a shadow in face of such prestige, what cause have I? As he looks to all the people. I will say. And the music starts to go deep, and you can see it coalescing into certain spots around the battlefield, and you hear people sending that they've confirmed Anna East that they've disrupted as many of the runes as possible. But they're seeing magic coalesce in different parts of the city as well. And he says, "A blessed labor, my most sovereign liege," as he steps forward and bows to the queen. "To overthrow 12's lands, I will turn their virtue into pitch and bathe in thy cries. With your burning glances now turn your heads and stop and stare at the sea of smiles from the hungry dead." And just with a burst of black energy waves his hands, and you see it ripple out across, carrying across the sound waves, as all across the palace, hordes of zombies and black monsters appear.
So I would have shouted my potion of haste, as I put in chat, but are we rolling initiative?
I'm trying to get to initiative. Roll 20 is being kind of funky.
In the meantime, as I was doing that, I would yell at him, "Brother, it will never be enough. No blood shall balm the wounds of your heart. Lay down your arms." I know. I'm putting flavor in. I'm not.
Frosty, I can't see the map, by the way. I don't seem to have vision on my token.
You have to scroll out a ton. I had to scroll out like a ton.
No. I'm like fully out of the map, and I just don't.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I have it on like 0% or something. Like it's. There we go. Now I can see it. Thank you.
Damn it.
You cannot shout at him and drink your potion and do all of that. Like,
okay, then I won't.
Like,
then I will just drink it. That's fine.
I am so sorry, Frosty, because I haven't rolled in Roll20 for a while. I rolled and got a 23.2 like Garth, but it said I didn't have a token selected.
You gotta click your token first.
Yeah, you gotta select your token.
Selected and then click on the initiative button.
Thank you.
Also, Frosty, just to check, because sorry, we didn't cut back to Magnar and Macy before we cut over, but I was going to cast a spell on him during the dance.
You actually said you did before the dance started. I think you said you did before the dance started.
I didn't. I thought I was gonna have a chance to say it, and then the Godric came in. So, if it triggers, that's fine. If not, that's fine as well. I just was gonna try and do that during the dance.
What? It added a bunch of people that are not supposed to be to the initiative. Jaja Mimi isn't here. Kupo Kopo isn't here. Addis Nahaz isn't here. Okay, we're gonna have to re-roll initiative for some
Addis is here.
Addis,
Can I keep mine? I rolled
No.
well. Come on.
Anything would be better than the 4-point something Magnar just rolled.
Man.
Well, almost anything.
Also, keep in mind,
I just went from a 15.2 to a 9.2.
Magnar, keep in mind you have two different things you can use.
What have I
You
got?
have the Fortune's Favor to re-roll, and you have Bardic for a D6.
Bardic for D6, got it.
You might want to like
Frosty.
put a
I
little thing on your
I use my hero point for 5 extra, so that's a 20.
Oh, I appreciate the reroll.
See, I went from a 23 to a
Whoa.
7.
I went from like a 4 to a 21. So
Is Godric meant to be right next to me?
Oh,
I
well,
hope not.
it's still doing that thing where it's adding a bunch of people.
yeah, what's going on there?
I use 0 point as well, but I only got it 1.
So Sir Macy blushes first. Oh, and Godric. Fuck.
All right.
As long as I go before the shadow thing. I don't.
So, Hadrian, I'm not going to allow you to drink your potion until your action.
I know. I'll do it on my action. I'm just like.
All right. So as combat starts, as you guys are standing on the dance floor and up at the front of the dance floor, the uninvited guest has been making his way down the stairs in rhythm to the music, as his whole speech seemed timed with the music and reached a crescendo at that point. Everyone's kind of been watching guests as you guys kind of stared in awe. And Sir Macy Blush, you are reacting first as you guys see hordes of zombies manifest and these dark shadow creatures manifest. And you can hear screams through the rest of the palace. The uninvited guest seems to be wearing 4 rings on his hand, 2 of which appear to be glowing, a red and a blue glow on one red ring and one ring that's blue is glowing. So, Sir Macy Blush, you have the first round.
I'm just out of curiosity. Is God, the merchant that was talking to Garth earlier? I'm blanking on his name.
Antoine Regide.
Antoine.
Yeah, is he on the map? I can't see him.
He is off in another room.
Okay. Because I would change what I was gonna do if he was on the map. But Macy will sort of look about and obviously be a bit surprised by all the chaos and such happening, but will sort of take a look around and extend a hand out towards Garth and Cadoris, who were just about to kiss. And he'll say, Starcraft's lovers should never be parted in such a way. You must finish the scene. And as an action, I am going to cast Emboldening Bond between Cadoris, Garth, and I'm gonna sneak in Magnar. Interesting threesome nonetheless, but
What does it do?
so I'll post that. Basically, it's sort of like a bless, but you guys have to stay within 30 feet of each other.
30 feet of each other. Okay.
Yeah, you get to add a D4 to any attacks, ability checks, or saving throws, and you can only add it once per turn. So, unlike bless, where it adds constantly. And then, as his bonus action, he's going to sort of step back, and you see that sort of same like paper, like the sort of paper mache that makes up his mask, start to form all over him and start to sort of wind along his body. And he goes, and I, the humble narrator, will take a step back, as I don't find myself needing to participate in the heaty and sweaty combat. And I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself as a bonus.
Okay.
With my once per day Sanctuary. And that's my turn.
All right. Yes, turn. He is going to cast Eldritch Blast at the Queen.
Ooh.
Them
Oh
dice
my.
love telling stories.
Is that 3 nat ones? Holy cow.
Well, technically, there's
Two,
one
it's
was
two,
2
like
ones
2
and
nat
a
1
Is it
single
advantage?
12, but go on, like that.
Is
The
it
dice
an
hate
advantage?
Godric, yeah.
No, they're not. It's just set to auto roll advantage.
So 1, 1, and 12 then.
Yeah. So the balls just fizzle, and another one flies off to the side and
Our villain seems
smashes
to be
against one of the
having
walls.
trouble keeping it up.
Guess who's gonna
prob-
die first?
The problem when you have a porn writer in the group is that everything comes off as sexual.
Hadrian, your turn.
I will look to Anais, wink, chug my
You
potion
are
of haste.
on the dance floor. Remember, Anais teleported away.
Okay, doesn't.
Please stop moving yourself. You guys were on the dance floor. Anais teleport away. That's when everything happened. Please don't.
It doesn't really matter because I was going to go here anyway. Get into flanking with the imp. Chug my potion.
That's your action.
I know. Wink it nice. And use my newfound extra action to attack the imp.
All right. Roll your to hit.
I will bonus action Divine Favor. And I'm great with mastering this. 14.
That will miss. As it just deflects your blade off to the side as you're standing on the dance floor and turns to look at you.
Okay.
All right. Magnar, your turn.
Let's see. This is new for me. 1 second. Let me see the battle map a bit more clearly.
Also, Magnar, if you don't hit, you have Bardic, you have a D4. Your choice of reroll. If you do not hit,
We'll get to that.
We believe.
This is it. It's happening.
Well, not this second. It isn't because let me just get the measurements.
Soon.
hit him.
Hit
him with your best shot.
There's Garth is 15 feet. Hadrian is 30 feet, and Anais is 40 feet. Okay, so Magnar is. Where's Godric?
Middle of the stairs, uninvited guest, purple.
Oh, got him. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to measure a whole bunch of stuff too.
Magnar is. That puts him squarely in the middle of the room, but okay.
Yeah.
And he's going to cast Bless on Hadrian, Anais, and Garth.
Yay!
Does that stack with
Yep.
Oh my, 2d4 dad?
But remember, one of those D4 will only trigger once.
Once per turn, yeah.
That
Adrian,
is
Garth, and Anais.
Yep. And so
And Bless.
gone.
And I just need to check the global attack modifier next to Bless, and it's auto added, right?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, just leave that up.
Yep.
And then.
As you're standing in the center of the dance floor, Magnar.
Yep, I am front and center. And what is Channel Divinity to turn undead in terms of action economy?
It's an action.
It's an action.
It's an action. Okay, that'll come later then. Then that's it. He's done.
All right. Garth?
So I have a question.
Yes.
It's been a while since our last fight. It's still a bonus action to command Barry, correct?
Correct. But he will follow the last command given.
Right.
So if you say guard this door, he'll continue to guard the door. If you say attack this person,
But
he'll
it's a
keep
bonus
attacking
action.
the person. Yeah.
Okay. that sucks. So, I'm gonna step here in front of Kadoris. With my bonus action, I'm going to cast Zephyr Strike,
Okay.
and that will give me advantage on this attack. This first attack.
Yep.
There's no way I missed this, I don't think. So it's a 29.
That'll hit as
Okay.
the arrow flies across the. Quickly channel energy, and the arrow flies across the dance floor and slams into the uninvited guest.
For 13 damage. And I will fire my second shot.
All right.
This is just normal. 24 plus
That'll
4.
hit.
Why not add the d4 from the other thing? So that's going to be 28, 30 to hit. And that'll be another 17 damage.
All right. The two arrows slam into him, and he kind of looks at.
Hello.
If thou hast set thy fangs to fight, then fight shall follow. Coward, thine liver lily, follow your rabbit heart, and you shall live.
Right, can we just fight and not talk?
Gosh, you know me.
Is that it?
That's
Oh,
what happened.
that is my turn. And Barry's going to stand there for a little bit.
At the end of your turn, he's going to use Scorching Ray on you, Garth, as a legendary action.
Oh no!
Ooh.
I mean, he can try.
Ooh.
Ballsy, ballsy there, Evan.
Is that a save? Or is
He's
it
going to
just
put one on Garth and one on just a random Ameresian and one on the Marquis Gervais.
My God.
Garth.
Oh.
Thankfully, that's not an advantage.
Yeah, it's not. So it's not the net 20.
So
Oh
it
my
hits.
goodness. Yep.
For 8 fire.
That's not too bad.
We're
Could
chilling.
be a
yeah,
lot
we're
worse. Could be a lot worse than that.
That one will miss.
Oh my
That one will
goodness.
miss.
That one.
If this was Cyberpunk, he'd be dead right now from that.
fine.
Lord Sangir is going to.
Is Anais disrupting all the rooms? You know, it's throwing him off his game.
Mhm.
Is going to use the scimitar on the Shadow Imp. That'll hit. And bloody it. Then his second attack. That'll miss. And his third. That'll hit. For another 4, and that will kill it. Barry is drinking and eating the snack plates because he hasn't been given an order.
Yeah. Taking advantage of the opportunity.
Spike is going to charge forward and attack with her Dragon Slayer Spear. As she jumps forward and slams against, it seems to hit this magical field around Godric. She'll try again. And will break through it and nail him.
Damn girl.
Wow.
For a lot and bloody him. Gregorio is going to try and move to help other people. Shadow Imps are going to blast. This one's going to attack Hadrian. Uh, that is going to hit. As a natural 20 as it swings its claws, slashing at you wildly for 6 piercing and
8 necrotic.
16 necrotic.
Well, I'm resistant to that, so.
And then it will make its
Well,
second
to be
attack.
fair, if I'm reading that right, though, you still make a Constitution save.
Yep.
And if you succeed, you even take half of that. So potentially, you can only take 4.
So I need a con save. All right, so you'll take 4.
Okay, so that's okay, even less then.
Yeah,
That.
it's even less. Yeah.
As it claws me, I just raise my middle finger at it. I still hurt a bit, but it's Hadrian. That'll miss.
Jill is going to try and firebolt Godric. Second one will hit. Dropping Godric kind of for a moment, and the uninvited guest kind of drops to his knees as the fabric on his material is singeing. Westora?
All right. Yeah, I have a few things I'd like to do. So I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 up next to the queen. Then as a bonus action, I'm going to use Fey Step. And because I'm currently in spring, my Fey Step actually, the spring one is I can use it on a willing target within 5 feet of me, and they teleport instead of me. So I'm going to move her.
She is not willing.
She won't be willing to let me save her?
She doesn't think she needs save. So you're just running up and trying to teleport her. She doesn't know you yet. So she is an unwilling target.
All right. In that case, I will. I've got other things I want to say on my turn. So for now, I'll just simply remove the face step because that failed. And I will then spend. I will then cast Summon Fey.
All right.
And I will summon it right in front of the queen. And I will. Let's see which type of Fey I want to do real quick. Sorry, I was thinking about all this, but I didn't remember that. I will do. I will make it Trixie.
Okay.
A Trixie Fey. And I will yell out. I'm going to cast it in that square right in front of her, and I will yell out, "Stop the music!"
Indeed, that sounds like a very good plan. But we will deal with this uninvited guest.
Well, I mean, I had more I wanted to say. I assumed "stop the music" was all I could say.
All right.
I'm assuming that's the queen who said that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if I have the time, see that I will respond.
You kind of said what you can.
Okay. But then, right after my turn, the Fey spirit gets to go.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. I did want to say something else. I was going to order the Fey spirit protect the queen.
Okay.
And then the Fey spirit, the Trixie one, has an ability. As a bonus action, it can fill a 5-foot cube within 5 feet of it with magical darkness. So I'd like to fill the square that the queen's in with magical darkness. It does have attacks alike, but they're all close range attacks. So
Okay.
for now, all I'm doing is putting it between the queen and any potential attacks to hopefully give some cover.
Okay.
And put the queen in magical darkness.
Anais?
Blade Song.
Okay.
So she's going to draw her rapier from her sheath and point it at Godric in just kind of one fluid motion. And as she does that, the leather harness that she's wearing woven into the dress that everybody's very used to seeing her wear at this point, it ignites with sort of bright yellow and somewhat bluish runes as she casts Blade Song to activate those effects as a bonus action. And she makes a actual like slashing attack motion while looking at Godric, and she's going to use that to cast Tasha's Mind Whip over at him. She doesn't actually have to get close to him, thankfully, for that. And
All right.
let me post that if I can. So he has to make a 15 con save as space kind of twists around him.
All right. This is at advantage, so that is a 17.
I had a feeling, but she tried.
He does have magic resistance, so
Yeah,
he has advantage on saves against spells.
she will take off running after that and use her movement and loop up and around. Oh, that's my ruler, not me moving. She knows what she's doing. Up and around Hadrian like so.
Just
And that's
jump over and into the dance floor over Hadrian.
Amazing. Sorry.
She'll land and roll and kind of. She doesn't want to go all the way to him yet, but she's going to get. There, I'll call it. That's her turn.
Godric goes to use his next legendary. To
He's not dropped.
cast. Nope, he has not dropped.
Okay. Cool.
Magic missile. At level 5. Should be 3, 4,
Oh no.
5, 6 bolts.
Oh god. That's good.
5 at me, I presume.
Nope, at the queen.
Oh no.
Oh,
Hate
so
that.
I guess magical darkness didn't do a damn bit of good.
He can see through it.
I figured he had true sight or something, but
He actually has a specific ability to see through magical darkness.
Is it worth a shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good strategy.
No.
Is the queen not a mage?
She is, but she can't see to counterspell because she's in magical darkness.
I meant shield. But...
She actually does not have shield.
Well, that's an oversight on her part.
You would think the
And
queen would
general
want to learn how to
average
cast
insecurity.
shield.
If only she knew that she was going to be assassinated today.
Yeah, it wasn't like we. Never mind.
I don't think counterspell needs line of sight.
You have to be able to.
doesn't,
You have to see.
but she's
yeah.
arrogant as well, so I can believe she would just be like, they can't hurt me.
Undead Horde's turn. They're going to
Wait.
attack.
The queen didn't do anything.
Oh yeah, sorry. It was on the queen's initiative. Yep. So she is going to step out of the magical darkness. Move around. And she does have shield. Oops. I did not think she did.
She's like,
Well,
ah, this is a trifle.
I'm sure she would have just cast it. There's no reason why she wouldn't have.
She is going to try and cast Chain Lightning on all of the undead. All right, that will bloody that horde. That horde.
You guys were so awesome. We didn't even have to touch them.
And that horde. Leon is going to charge forth and attack one of the hordes. Cadoris is going to try and shoot. As he draws a mystical arrow from the bow. And misses. As the energy just fires off.
Okay.
And as we get back to the top of the initiative, that is where we're going to call it for today.
No. One more round.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you to our producer, Nick, and thank you to all of our wonderful Patreons for supporting us. You are greatly appreciated. Andromeda Adventures loves you. It was great having everyone here. I hope everyone has a wonderful night. And thank you for joining us and watching us. We will see you next week. And hopefully finish up the Battle of the Masquerade. And with that, I think... everybody say goodnight, Godric.
Good night, Godric.
Good night, Godric.
Fuck
Good night,
you,
Godric.
Godric.
That joke never gets old.
Mhm.